All right, we're alive with some more Apollo Justice Ace Attorney Trilogy. We are in the first case of Phoenix Wright Ace Attorney Dual Destinies Turnabout Countdown, Day 2. December 18th, 9:34 a.m. District Court. Defendant Lobby, number 5. This isn't exactly how I envisioned the second day of this trial to start. But given how things ended yesterday... Good morning. The mood sure is tense. Not that that's any surprise. Hello? Oh, hey, did you read the paper this morning, boss? Uh-huh. The paper? That came out of left field. You didn't read it? Then you don't know the big news. Somebody spotted an abominable snowman way up in the mountains. Tell me you know the difference between a paper and a tabloid, Athena. It might show up in the forest where you live, Junie. So you'd better watch out, okay? You really should read the story for yourself. I couldn't even begin to do it justice. Apollo justice. In the other room, watching horrible movies. Oh, that sounds fun, maybe? Justice? Huh? Oh, poor Apollo. And it's all my fault. Oh. Athena! Oh, Junie, what was I thinking? I'm so sorry. What we found yesterday was not Apollo's dead body, thank goodness. He'd been assaulted by someone with a blow to his head and was lying unconscious. We rushed him to the hospital right away, and it looks like he's going to pull through. But it was still quite a shock to stumble on a scene like that. Watch Black Friday? Oh, nice. Or maybe not nice. Is Miss Woods all right, Athena? Well, I managed to get her to stop crying. Now she's resting on that sofa over there. I guess she really feels responsible for what happened to Apollo. Poor Junie. She believes that the reason Apollo was attacked because he was helping her look for something in that courtroom. Oh, well, I guess I can see why she'd think that. By the way, how are you doing? Who, me? Yeah, you. I know you're concerned about Miss Woods, but are you all right? Me? I'm doing just fine, boss. I mean, yeah, it was a huge shock, but I'm all right. People who've studied analytical psychology are great at times like these. After all, they've learned how to control their own emotions, too. Somehow, I don't think it's as easy as she makes it sound. Here, you're here, welcome. But there's no denying she's a real trooper. Apollo doesn't remember a thing, does he? Yeah, he can't recall anything from the time right before he was assaulted. And nothing about what he was doing in courtroom number 4 or who assaulted him. The doctor said it's probably due to that hit he took to the head. Assaulted in a court of law and losing your memory at that. I know how that feels. Hey! Wow! You guys remember that case? From case 2? The best first case ever? But who in the world would do such a thing, huh, Mr. Wright? Girl, just wait till I get my hands on the coward who hurt our Apollo. Now, Athena. I thought you said you were in control of your emotions. Let's just focus on helping Miss Woods, okay? But I admit I'm just as upset as you. Oh, okay, boss, you're right. Apollo's assailant can wait until after we cleared Junie's name. That's the spirit. Now, let's see. I better check the court record one more time before the trial starts. Earth to Mr. Wright. I'm ready whenever you are. Alright, let's get ready to rumble. You bet. With everything that happened with Apollo, I don't have time for a proper investigation. I can't let that stop me, though. I have to get this right, for Miss Wood's sake, and Apollo's too. December 18th, 9:50 a.m., District Court, Courtroom number 5. Day 2, court is now in session. All rise. Court will now reconvene for the trial of Juniper Woods. The prosecution is ready, Your Honor. The defense is also ready, Your Honor. Now then, I believe I instructed the prosecution to further their investigation. Were you able to locate the remote switch in question? I'm afraid the remote switch is still missing, Your Honor. I must say, I'm disappointed, Mr. Payne. Not angry, just disappointed. Oh, that's even worse. I apologize, Your Honor. Aha! Looks like the prosecution is just as unprepared as I am. There is a separate matter, however, that I would like to bring up during this trial. A separate matter, you say? And what might that be? I assume you're aware that another incident occurred during yesterday's trial. I'm speaking, of course, of the assault on Mr. Justice in the ruins of courtroom number 4. Uh-oh, why is he bringing that up? Yes, what a truly harrowing experience it must have been. Poor Mr. Justice. At the time of the attack, Mr. Justice was not alone. He was with the defendant, Miss Juniper Woods. He isn't going where I think he's going with this, is he? The prosecution wishes to indict Miss Woods on the charge of Mr. Justice's assault. Order! Order in the court! Mr. Payne! The incident under deliberation here is the courtroom bombing. The assault on Mr. Justice has nothing to do with this trial. But I believe there is a connection between this case and Mr. Justice's assault. Please take a moment to consider these facts. Both events occurred in courtroom number 4. This is the location in courtroom number 4 where the unconscious Mr. Justice was discovered. As you can see, it's quite close to where Detective Arm's body was found. Alright, courtroom number 4 diagram. Got it. The question is, why did the culprit feel the need to maliciously attack Mr. Justice? Why, indeed. What do you believe their motive to be, Mr. Payne? I believe Mr. Justice found something in that courtroom while Miss Woods was with him. Evidence that fingered her as the perpetrator of the bombing. You mean he found some incriminating evidence? Precisely. And so I surmise that the defendant picked up a piece of rubble and hit Mr. Justice on the back of the head in order to silence him. Junie would never do such a thing. She was devastated when we found Apollo hurt like that. Miss Sykes, please, control your outbursts. It is the prosecution's belief that by deliberating on Mr. Justice's assault, we will draw ever closer to the truth of the courtroom bombing itself. Very well. Miss Woods is hereby officially indicted on the charge of assaulting Mr. Justice. What? Why are you listening to Mr. Toupee over there? Although, considering our conversation yesterday, I think Apollo might have figured something out. Wonder what it was. He told me, I'm going to look for evidence to clear your name, Junie. Okay. Maybe the two incidents really are related after all. I would like to start by hearing from the defendant herself. Very well. Bailiff, please bring Miss Woods to the witness stand. I'm sorry. I can't seem to stop. Miss Woods. I guess she's still really upset about Apollo. Miss Woods, you went to the ruins of courtroom number 4 with Mr. Justice, did you not? Yes, I did. Good, good. If you would, then please testify about what happened to the court. Witness testimony. Alone with Apollo. During the trial yesterday, I was overcome by a fit of coughing. Apollo stayed with me, and we went to the courtroom ruins together. But then I was called back to this courtroom to give testimony. Apollo insisted on staying behind in courtroom number 4. I swear I didn't attack Apollo. Why would I ever hurt such a kind person?
So, Mr. Justice stayed by your side while you were feeling unwell? What an admirable young man! I thought his loud voice was his only redeeming feature.
He may look like a little imp at times, but Apollo can be really nice, too. I hope she didn't hurt her wrist backhanding that one out.
But one has to wonder, why did Mr. Justice stay behind in the ruins?
I think Apollo might have figured something out.
Something? What kind of something?
Something to do with the courtroom bombing, kind of something, I think.
Oh ho! New evidence for the case, was it? That's a very big kind of something indeed.
I believe so. He mentioned looking for some evidence when I was called away. Just as I thought. There is a connection between the two incidents, but the defendant has told a very big lie, Your Honor.
What lie is that?
When she learned Mr. Justice would be looking for evidence, she attacked him.
She attacked him to give herself the chance to destroy that evidence.
No, never.
Miss Woods repaid Mr. Justice's kindness with violence.
We found the proof of her foul deed there in the courtroom ruins.
Again?
What on earth?
Woods. Again, we have the person writing a name that's incriminating in their own blood. Okay. Do you see it? There in front of Miss Justice's right hand. Witness the message he left us. It's written in blood. W-O-O-D-S? Why isn't that?
That's right, Your Honor. It says Woods in capital letters.
What?
I submit that Mr. Justice left us with the name of his attacker before he fainted. Apollo's assault photo. Apollo is shown collapsed on the floor. The bloody writing is also visible.
No, that can't be true.
Why would Apollo write my name?
Mr. Wright, the nerve of him leaving that message. Why would he do this?
Hey, don't take it out on me. I don't understand any more than you do.
When we discovered Apollo yesterday. Apollo!
No!
Ah!
We didn't even have a chance to rush over to him. As soon as security heard Athena scream, they ran in and cordoned off the area. After that, they were there in courtroom number 4 with Apollo the whole time. We couldn't investigate anything ourselves and had to leave everything to the police. Still, I never thought they would find some bloody writing there.
Now then, please begin your cross-examination, Mr. Wright.
Okay. So what do we got here? Alone with Apollo. During the trial, overcome by a fit of coughing. Okay. Do you always cough when you get nervous, Miss Woods?
Yes. Mr. Wright, please do not make Miss Woods nervous by pressing her so ruthlessly.
Well, that barely even qualified as a quasi-question. Let's help her relax with a little small talk before we dive into the cross-examination. You know, ask her about her hobbies and her crushes and stuff. Her crushes? Really? I don't know about this. Apollo stayed with me and we went to the courtroom ruins together. Why exactly did you go to the courtroom ruins? We went to look for my medicine to stop my coughing. Your medicine? Why would your medicine be in courtroom number 4? I dropped it in the heat of the moment. Bum-rap Riney, he was keeping my medicine safe for me. He has a little compartment that I can put things in, you see? And Phony Fanty has the same type of pocket. That's where the bomb was inserted. I had put my medicine for my coughing fits inside Bum-rap Riney. when I told Apollo about it, he said he'd help me go look for him. There was so much rubble in there. I was worried, but there was no rubble or anything in front of the witness stand. So when we got inside, Apollo went straight there and started looking for my Rhiny in that area. It was so nice of him to do that for me, in spite of all his injuries. Apollo is so strong and kind, just like the trees of the forest. The way she makes him sound, you'd think Apollo was some kind of ancient god. Oh, wait.
So that's why you went to the ruins. I see. That seems to be quite an important fact. Please, add it to your testimony, Miss Woods.
Oh God, Apollo started looking for Bum-Rap Rhiny near the witness stand where there was no rubble. Hang on a second. He started his search near the witness stand where there was no rubble. Okay. We'll put a pin in that and come back. I'm wondering about that for the map and where we found him. The area around that witness stand. Are you sure about that? I'm sorry. Did I say something wrong? Oh, no, of course not. I was just testing my hearing. Must not upset her. Yes, I'm sure that's where we searched first. But then I was called back to this courtroom to give testimony, okay? That was when you were called to the stand after Mr. Tonate's testimony, right? Yes, the bailiff came to courtroom number 4 and brought me back to this courtroom. And what about Mr. Justice? Did he come with you or did he stay behind? The Apollo insisted on staying behind, right? Let's see. I better not ask her about Apollo. I know. I'll use some small talk here to get her to relax a bit. Do you have any hobbies, Miss Woods? Hobbies? Oh, well, I love growing vegetables in my garden. And I love to knit. I like sewing, too. I made this outfit myself. Keep it up, Mr. Wright. It's working. Now ask her if she has a crush on anyone. Is there anyone in particular you like right now? Mr. Wright, is that question even remotely related to this case? Not really. Mr. Wright, you will refrain from asking questions unrelated to the case at hand. Oh, sorry, Your Honor. -1 to brownie points. Miss Woods, please continue with your testimony. I believe you were telling the court about your attack on Mr. Justice. I swear I didn't attack Apollo. Yeah. Why would I ever hurt such a kind person? So, you think Mr. Justice is kind? Yes, very kind. He rescued me. He's like the sun, strong and warm. He makes me feel strong, too. The only adjectives I associate with the sun are sweltering and oppressive. But then Apollo got hurt and it's all my fault. Junie, Apollo's gonna be fine. He's just like the sun, right? Well, the sun doesn't just drop out of the sky. You really think he'll be fine? But the sun does go down at night. Then that means Apollo could...
Mr. Payne, I don't think much of men who make ladies cry. Yeah!
So Apollo was trying to help Juniper. Who knew that Apollo could be such a sweetheart? It must have been pretty hard on him, too, with all that rubble everywhere. Now that I think about it, there's something odd about what Apollo was able to do. You know, considering what Miss Woods said just now, I think you're right. The courtroom was in a very unusual state, after all. Which leaves the million-dollar question, what would explain this contradiction? Anyway, let's see what happens when I present what I suspect is our answer. So I think the actual contradiction is near the witness stand where there was no rubble. So in the picture here, he's drawn the name. Yeah, something seems odd about this.
I think this is it. Sounds like it is. So he started his search with the witness stand, you say? That's right. I guess maybe he wanted to start from the furthest point in the room. He was being so brave and strong. But that's odd. Under the circumstances, he shouldn't have been capable of that. But he was, and he still is. He might not look it, but he really is brave and kind, too. No, that's not the part I'm finding fault with. Someone has a crush on Apollo. What you are claiming is something that no one should have been able to do. But I should think that anyone can be brave and kind if they wanted to be, Mr. Wright. True, anyone can be brave and kind, but if you would please take a look at this diagram. With the courtroom in this state, how was it possible to walk up to the witness stand? Oh, I see your point. The rebel blocks off access to the area around the witness stand. Does such a tiny inconsistency even matter? Perhaps the witness is simply misremembering it. Ugh. Great, now I'm not so sure it matters. A real man doesn't make mountains out of molehills, you know. But that's precisely what Mr. Wright does best. Actually, that's savagely accurate. I call slander, Your Honor. So, was it really impossible to approach the witness stand? I have to say, it's a bit hard to tell with any accuracy from just this diagram. Mr. Payne, do you have any other photos of the crime scene? Let me see, Your Honor. Yes, I have one more. Here it is. It's a more pulled back version of the photo I presented before. Wait a second. What is that? 5R. Remember last week when Mr. Tonate was talking about the bomb and the container the bomb was kept in? That's pretty interesting, isn't it? Also, I just noticed something. If you look where it says Woods, the S, that S looks rather like a 5 to me, and you can tell that there's something else after that that's been removed. Apollo's assault photo updated in the court record. Okay. Huh? What's that hunk of metal on wheels? Mr. Payne, is the metallic object in that photo Mr. Tonate's palm transport case? That's right. Is there some problem? Yes, that transport case was there in courtroom number 4 when the bomb went off. Must have been there ever since. Oh, that's it. Miss Woods, have you remembered something? Yes, I just realized. Its position. It's different from before. Its position? The position of what? The position of that big metal thing. The bomb transport case? Yes, when Apollo and I went there, it was in a different place. Where the case is in the photo was open space, so it was easy to search the stand. I see. So there was the transport case when you and Mr. Justice saw it. As I recall, I think it was more to the right? To the right? And that means... In that case, the case was over there at the time of the Apollo's attack? So it would have been where he wrote the name. He got hit in the head and it messed up his vision, so he wrote it upside down. He was actually attacked by somebody named Stu. Who cares where the transport case was when? What difference does it make? It has nothing at all to do with what we were talking about. Where the transport case was has everything to do with this discussion. In fact, it's so important that it's enough to turn the prosecution's argument on its ear. What? Well, that certainly sounds very relevant indeed. And you sound as though you know where this case was at the time of the attack. Yes, Your Honor. This diagram represents the crime scene as shown in the photo. And this is where the transport case was at the time of the assault on Mr. Justice. All right, I have this. The bomb transport case was here at the time of Apollo's attack. It was to the right.
Your Honor, I assert that this is where the transport case was at the time of the assault. But that's inconceivable! You keep saying that word. Miss Woods, was this where the transport case was when you saw it? Yes, that's where it was. Thank you, Miss Woods. I'm sure the court has noted an interesting fact about this position. The transport case covers up the writing in blood. Exactly. If the transport case was in that position at the time of the assault, then no message could have been written there because the case was in the way. Which leads us to conclude that Mr. Justice could not have left that bloody writing. Why should we believe the defendant's claim that the case was in a different position? She's obviously lying. The fact that the case was moved after the assault on Mr. Justice is proved by more than Miss Wood's testimony alone. What? And where is this proof you're talking about? It's right here, in the crime photo. I'm keen to see this proof myself, Mr. Wright. What in this photo indicates that the transport case was moved after the assault?
What proves it was moved after the assault? Ah, you can see that his bandages have been run over. Please take a look at the mark that runs over Mr. Justice's bandages here.
I see it, but what is it?
This mark was made by one of the casters from the transport case carrying the bomb. As the case was moved, it ran over his bandages. In other words, the transport case was originally to the right of Mr. Justice. Thankfully, Mr. Justice's edgy redesign has helped us solve this case. Then after Mr. Justice was assaulted, the transport case was moved.
What?
Just as Miss Wood said, the case was covering the writing at the time of the assault. Therefore, it was impossible for Mr. Justice to have left that message in blood.
No!
You did it, boss. It was a real nail biter, but you pulled it off. Yep, that should bring down the prosecution's claim like a house of cards.
Order in the court, Mr. Wright. That was a very clever deduction.
Oh, it was nothing, Your Honor. Nothing but pure genius. Take that. Boss, I'm sensing a definite smug and braggy vibe coming off of you.
I have just one question, Mr. Wright.
Yes, Your Honor?
If Mr. Justice didn't leave this message in blood, then who did?
Huh? What?
Oh!
Well... Looks like I should have taken that train of thought through to the last station. What is this, the judge making a good point? Well, wow. I've heard a lot about this. So this is Mr. Wright's famous bluffing technique, is it?
This feeling! It brings back memories of the old days. Back when you carved out a name for yourself by bluffing your way through thick and thin.
Gee, Mr. Wright, the judge kind of makes you sound no better than a two-bit con man. Oh boy. You made your argument with such confidence, Mr. Wright. Now I'd like to hear your answer with just as much confidence. Hey, until the judge asked the question, you didn't catch on either, Buster.
What now, boss?
I hope you didn't bluff your way into a corner. Think, Phoenix, think. There must be a way through this. I have to dig my way to the truth somehow. Who could have written that message in blood? The culprit, Apollo, or someone else? Wait. The culprit. Okay. Apollo. Or somebody else. So if it wasn't Apollo, and it wasn't the culprit, somebody else. Wait a minute. Can we look in the court record for a second? investigating the younger brother of another prosecutor I know. This one lacks presence too. Nice. A police bomb. Well, we know who the culprit is. It's Tonate. And we know who the victim is. In this case, it's Apollo. The victim previously was Candace. And we know Apollo was looking for something. Is it possible that Candace wrote that, and it wasn't actually Woods, it was something else and it got adjusted later? Let's see. It wasn't Apollo, who could have left the bloody message? Candace Arm, right? To be honest, I don't actually have any real proof of this. But I've come this far. There's no turning back now. Keep bluffing! Besides Apollo, there was one more person who shed blood at the crime scene. A person who shed blood? You don't mean... Oh, but I do. I believe it was Candace Arm who left behind this message in blood. What? What? Detective Arm? Are you sure you know what you're doing here? Not really. What kind of ridiculous assertion is that? If you had said the attacker left the message to throw people off, it might have made sense. At first glance, that would seem to be the most reasonable explanation. However, Apollo didn't shed enough blood to write such an extensive message. Uh-oh. Ah, I see. Well, even the photo makes it clear there wasn't enough blood to write all those letters. And Mr. Justice did survive. I suppose he didn't bleed very extensively in that case. But why would Detective Arm write the defendant's name? There's no connection between the two whatsoever. And I didn't even know the lady who was killed. I admit the investigation didn't turn up any connection between the victim and defendant. Right. They had never even met each other. That's very true. Well, yeah, because the message was altered. Well then, let's see. Then maybe the intended meaning of the message is not what it appears to be. Maybe Apollo keeps a bag of blood on him for just such occasions. Did you ever consider that, Mr. Wright? Yes! Apollo's a vampire. The intended meaning? Not what it appears to be. But maybe the message was not intended to be Woods. Coming from you, that's quite the bold statement, Mr. Wright. You wish to assert that this bloody writing could have had some other meaning? Yes, Your Honor. There's something I pulled out of a wormhole. It could turn out to be true, right? Are you thinking with wormholes? Clearly it says Woods, as anyone can plainly see. What other meaning could it possibly have? But Candace Arm was a detective. Maybe Woods only means something to the police. Like a police scanner code, for example. See, this is one of those cases where we're a little bit past them, because it's very obvious that there's something cut off there. But, you know, we'll work with it. I didn't think of that. You may have tricked his honor, but you'll never get the best of me. I have a thing for studying on the weekends, as you may have already guessed. And there is no such radio code as Woods in this state, dear Mr. Wright. Is that a fact? Don't look at me. I know as much as you do about police codes. Here in this wonderful state of California. Enough of this. I was quite taken with the defense's new theory. But if they can't substantiate it with anything, then I must end things here. No, please wait, Your Honor. Very well, but before we discuss this theory any further, I demand a plausible explanation. So, Mr. Wright, what is the true meaning of the bloody writing? Well, I believe it's... And no stalling. If you can't come up with an answer quickly, I will declare this discussion officially over. I'm in trouble now. What other meaning could it have besides the obvious one? Maybe it means something in another language, or maybe it's a code? Think, Phoenix. You can do this. What's the code of the... L011... Yeah. This could very easily be changed to Woods. Which piece of evidence will tell us what the word woods really means?
The bomb transport case.
The bomb transport case? I've had it about up to here with your shenanigans, Mr. Wright.
Take a look at the numbers on this case, Your Honor. L10015R. Doesn't this string look vaguely familiar?
What does that have to do with anything?
What could those numbers possibly have to do with the case at hand? Well, now please take a look at the bloody writing shown in the crime photo. Oh, I think I see it. That a girl. That's one on my side.
It says woods.
Or you could say it's a horse of a different color, Your Honor. The first character isn't a W. It's actually an L and a 1. The next two are zeros.
Oh, my goodness!
Just look at the painting already, Mr. Wright. The true meaning behind the bloody writing isn't Miss Wood's name. It's the number engraved on this bomb transport case.
What are you talking about?
The next part doesn't make any sense. The next number is a 1, but the bloody writing says D. But the number on the case and the bloody writing can be made to match up quite easily. This is how the number on the transport case can be made to match the bloody writing. Hang on. Let's see. 5 L0015. You just erase one of the lines, right? Erase one line. All I have to do is erase one line from the writing.
Erase one line from where?
Anywhere you like.
Anywhere I'd like? All right, I'll erase one of the O's. Wads? What's that supposed to mean? What is this? Are you playing Doom over there, Mr. Wright?
Your state of mind. I believe it stands for wise, optimistic, dauntless, and serene. Boss, what in the world? This is no time for a psychology test.
I can't say my state of mind is exactly serene right now, Mr. Wright.
I guess erasing just one line won't do the trick.
Mr. Wright, please refrain from making things up as you go along. Now try again.
Okay. Hang on a second. This is how the number on the transport case can be made to match it. Well, if you look at it... Alright, let's look at this again. Because there's that part that's very clearly been erased. So, is that the R? Because that's the R51001. So, let's erase 2 lines. Yeah. Please erase the third downward stroke of the W and the curved part of the D.
Well, would you look at that? Lewis?
No, Your Honor. It isn't meant to be read as a word. It's the number L01105, which, if you take away the final R, is the exact same number that's on the bomb transport case. Erase 2 lines and they match up, you say? Well, I can change anything and anything else simply by erasing 2 lines. What if we erase 2 lines from your name? Would you be happy as Mr. Rye?
Well, would you, Mr. Rye?
The only right spelling is right. Okay, I'm doing pretty well here, and I think I've drawn the right conclusion. Detective Arm's real message to us is the bomb transport case number. Your Honor, the 2 lines were added by the real culprit to intentionally mislead people.
What?
The original message Detective Arm left behind was the transport case number, but whoever assaulted Apollo changed the message. If you're right, boss, then what do you suppose Detective Arm was trying to tell us? Good question. What does this number represent?
Do you see this number here? That is my identification number. Ah. Candace Arm lost her life in the courtroom bombing. Her dying message could only have had one purpose. No! To tell us the name of the one responsible for the bombing.
Well, don't keep us in suspense, Mr. Wright. Tell us who she was trying to name.
The culprit that the victim was trying to identify is none other than Ted Tonate. The defense wishes to indict Mr. Ted Tonate on the charge of the courtroom bombing.
Ted Tonate?
Apparently, disabling bombs isn't Mr. Tonate's only specialty. Somehow, the victim must have realized that he was the bomber. So when she was caught in the blast, she left his bomb transport case number as her dying message. She used Mr. Tonate's own ID number to finger him for the crime.
Why would anyone go out of their way to write an ID number? Why wouldn't they simply write the person's name?
He's got a good point there.
What do you have to say to that, Mr. Wright?
Now, that only Detective Arm would know the answer to that, but allow me to offer a theory. Perhaps Detective Arm couldn't recall Mr. Tonate's name in the heat of the moment. As I recall, this was the first meeting between the two. It's entirely possible they wouldn't have been familiar with each other. Or maybe using the ID number was a way to hide its true meaning from the real culprit, thus lowering the odds that they would erase the bloody writing. But no matter what the reason, the important thing is the meaning behind her message. The fact remains, she wrote Mr. Tonate's ID number.
Now just one moment here. There hasn't been any proof yet that it was indeed Detective Arm who wrote it. The bloody writing wasn't found during the investigation after the blast. If Detective Arm had left the message, it should have been found at the time.
Naturally, Mr. Tonate hid it before anyone could discover it. And there's a simple explanation for how he was able to do so.
What?
Mr. Tonate was able to cover the message up because he's the first to find the body, a stickler for details, wearing those weird goggles. Wasn't he the one who found the body? Let's see. He was in charge. No. Let's see. Wearing those weird goggles. He's a stickler for details? No? Mr. Tonate is quite a nervous person, a stickler for details. That's why the bloody writing bothered him.
But wouldn't the bloody writing bother him whether he was a stickler for details or not?
Oh, I don't know about that, Your Honor. For example, I doubt it would bother Athena here. She doesn't seem like one for details, I don't think.
What? I object to his accusation, Your Honor. I object wholeheartedly. And I object to your lame explanation, Mr. Wright.
Ouch. I object to this pain. But seriously, I wonder why nobody discovered the bloody writing. Because Mr. Tonate was able to do something to hide it. And that was because... Yes? It must be because he was the one to find the body. Let me try to explain one more time. He was the first to find the body. That makes sense. The first person to discover the bloody writing was Mr. Tonate himself. I was the first one on the scene after the explosion. I went there to ensure safety, but I ended up discovering a dead body. When Mr. Tonate saw that the victim had written his ID number, he used the bomb transport case to cover up the bloody writing as a stopgap measure. Oh, so that's why the message in blood was under the transport case. He didn't have enough time to try and scrub away the writing. If he didn't report the body right away, he would look suspicious. So those letters lived on to serve another function. When Mr. Tonate used them in another incident.
Oh, the assault on Mr. Justice!
Exactly. Mr. Tonate hit upon a plan to use the bloody writing for his own purposes. So he didn't clean it away. Instead, he made it look like Mr. Justice wrote it. By adding 2 lines to the writing that Detective Arm left behind, he changed the meaning of the message. He made it look like Mr. Justice was accusing Miss Woods of the attack. So that means...
The only person who could have altered the bloody writing was the courtroom bomber, who was the same person that assaulted Mr. Justice. And that person is Ted Tonate. Yeah! Order in the court. Order, I say. It looks like we will have to hear from the bomb specialist himself. Now, Mr. Payne, please have Mr. Tonate take the witness stand.
Yes, Your Honor.
That was great, Mr. Wright. Just doing what I do best, which is flying by the seat of my pants. Dismantling the case is yours. Do you think you can handle it? I look forward to seeing you try. I've finally drawn Mr. Tonate back onto the witness stand. Looks like you'll get your wish, Goggle Man. Now watch me take your lies apart. All right. Alright. Mr. Tonate, I'm afraid we have a few more questions for you. I understand the situation, Your Honor. I was keeping a close eye on the proceedings from the gallery. The allegations are all laughable. I wouldn't be laughing if I were you, Mr. Tonate. The message in blood matches your ID number. The same ID number that is there on that bomb transport case. Such a far-fetched theory, no better than a tangled ball of wires. I'll have them untangled for you in no time at all. You were the first person on the scene after Detective Arm left her message in blood. You were the only one who could have hidden the writing and then used it again later. I see, X2, but then let me ask you, do you have any proof that Detective Arm wrote that message? That's a very good question. Well, do you, Mr. Wright? The best way to prove that Detective Arm wrote that message is to analyze the DNA. It'd be her blood. Your Honor, I request that a DNA test be performed in the blood itself. Once we know whose it is, it'll be obvious as to who wrote the message. Very well. Bailiff, please put in a request for a DNA test with the forensics team. Yes, Your Honor. It will be some time before we have the results of the analysis. But until then, let's hear more from the witness. I would like nothing more, Your Honor. I want the court to hear how ridiculous the defense's theory is. Alright. I admit I was the first one on the scene after the explosion, but there was no bloody writing there at the time. Anyway, there is no way Detective Arm could have written it. She struck her head on rubble and died near the courtroom entrance. Hang on a second. She struck her head on rubble and died near the courtroom. Cause of death, trauma to back of head caused by impact with a flat object. Rubble generally isn't flat, is it? So, she was too far away from where the bloody message was found. So you're saying that the victim's body was nowhere near where the writing was? Precisely. It is as plain as day that she could not have written it. It's true that the body was discovered near the entrance to the courtroom. Please have a look at this crime scene photo. Okay. As you can see, there was blood on the rubble near the victim's body. That is not right, though, because it said she was killed by a flat object. That is a pointed object. She must have died after hitting her head there. Okay. Got it. I see. All right then, Mr. Wright. You may cross-examine the witness. Do you have what it takes to take my infallible testimony apart? It's quite a statement. Something an innocent person would definitely say. I just want to go up here and try to present this. Anyway, there is no way Detective Arm could have written it. She had struck her head on rubble. Yeah, they even show the picture. I think this is it. Objection! Yeah. You're a terrible liar, Mr. Tonate. Huh? Take a look at this autopsy. Specifically, the part about Detective Arm's head injury.
Cause of death, trauma to back of head caused by impact with a flat object. Yes, what about it? Now take a good look at the bloody piece of rubble. It's sharp and pointed. Hey, you're right, boss. It is pointy. Just like your hair.
Well, that is odd, isn't it? What could be the meaning of this contradiction?
I believe it means the victim did not hit her head on this piece of rubble. The bloodstain you see is just another fabrication. Its purpose is to mislead us into thinking the victim died near the courtroom entrance.
Are you claiming the culprit moved the victim's body?
That's exactly what I'm claiming. The victim hit her head at some other location, most likely on the floor or some other flat surface. And this location was somewhere near where the bloody writing was found. In that case, she definitely could have written the message.
Your Honor,
I have the results of the bloodstain analysis.
Ah, very good timing. Let's take a look. According to this report, the message was written in Detective Arm's blood. And as the defense claims, only the parts of the message that were added afterwards were written in Mr. Justice's blood. It would appear that the defense's assertion is correct after all.
Bloody writing analysis added to the court record.
Yes, you did it. You were right, boss.
Now I have to drive it home. Killer is Mr. Right. I'll have to take a good look at the bloody writing analysis later. Okay. Let's see. Woods. DNA analysis definitely proved the blood of the writing to be that of the victim, Candace Arm, age 27. However, the lines that were added later were found to be written in the blood of Apollo Justice, age 23. Got it.
Mr. Tonate, it is now apparent that you've told several lies to this court. I hope you have some sort of explanation for yourself.
Fine. I will confess. You will? But then why are you so calm? This time I will tell the truth. Witness testimony. The truth. It is true that Detective Arm wrote my ID number. She very plainly wrote L10015R. I was shocked, but I did not detonate the bomb. Detective Arm must have mistaken me for the real bomber. Not wanting to be accused, I moved the body and covered the writing. My bad.
I see. So it is your assertion that you merely moved the body. Is that it?
That is correct. I did not kill Detective Arm.
Oh, well, if that's all you did then. Wait a minute. That, in and of itself, is a criminal act.
Glad to see you finally crossed that finish line, Your Honor.
Very well, then. Your cross-examination, please, Mr. Wright.
Okay. The truth. Okay. It is true that I Detective Arm wrote my ID, and okay. So you admit that you actually did see the bloody writing the Detective Arm left. My bad. I should have said so from the outset. And you're sure it was your ID number? I am sure it was definitely my ID number. That number was assigned exclusively to me by the police department. The number is assigned to my goggles as well. So those funky things were provided by the police department. Although these are special goggles customized by me personally. Speaking of personalized, these sunglasses of mine were custom made as well. They were specially created to be particularly dark and shiny.
Speaking of special, my gavel is made of mahogany and was custom made as well. It was specially created to make a particularly loud and resounding sound.
Wish I had something to brag about. Be all that as it may, I just want to reconfirm you saw the bloody writing clearly, and that it was your ID number? That is correct. My ID number was written in blood on the floor. She very plainly wrote L1, yeah. L01105R. And it was written after the bomb went off in the courtroom? Correct. I didn't know why she would write it, so that sent me into a panic.
Sounds like you were in quite a tizzy. If I were in his shoes, I guess it would have psyched me out too. I can't imagine coming across the message "Psychs" written in blood. If I saw "gasp in pain" written in blood, it'd certainly make me gasp. Rest assured, Mr. Tonate, I understand how you must have felt. And so you discovered your ID number written in blood at the scene, and... That is right. I saw it with my own eyes. It is very clearly said L011005R. Okay, he's saying this so many times. It doesn't say that, though, does it? L10015. Where did the R go if he's saying it so clear? But I did not detonate the bomb. Didn't you? The victim may have had special knowledge of who the bomber was. I have no idea what thoughts Detective Arm may have had inside her head. It is not like I ever dismantled her mind to check. Mr. Wright, if you have suspicions about the witness, let's see your proof. Evidence is everything in a court of law. Even school children know that. How many years have you been a defense attorney now? Cut me some slack, will ya? Don't feel bad, boss. You just got your attorney's badge back after all. In that sense, you're still more of a beginner than I am. I suppose I should be thankful you're not a licensed psychologist. Mr. Tonate, please continue with your testimony. With pleasure. My ID number was lifed at the scene, but... Detective Arm must have mistaken me for the real bomber. By mistaken, do you mean you had nothing to do with the explosion? That is correct. That is why I was so shocked when I saw my ID number. The victim may have suspected Mr. Tonate for no other reason than the fact that, as the bomb specialist, he was in charge of the bomb. In other words, a false accusation. It's vocational discrimination, I say. I don't support discrimination of any kind. Well spoken, Your Honor. If the victim had been found to be killed with a gavel, Mr. Blue Suit over there probably would have pinned the crime on you. He would? Well, that just wouldn't do. Mr. Wright, if you dare try to pin anything on me, I will find you in contempt of court. But I've never even tried to harm a hair on a strand of your beard, Your Honor. Well said, Mr. Payne, because I am so closely associated with bombs. I was afraid I would be prosecuted if anyone saw the bloody writing. Remove the body and cover the writing. Okay. You didn't think to clean away the bloody writing? I didn't have time. By the time I found the message, the blood was already dry. The police were waiting just outside for me to secure the room, and I still had to move the body. I was in a panic. With no time to spare, I temporarily covered the writing with my case. Didn't you think the police would find it during their investigation? Regulation stipulates only specialists may touch transport cases. Because of the danger, you see. I thought I would clean up the writing once they were finished. My bad. My bad? Does he really think that'll just magically smooth everything over? This guy is something else. And I don't believe Detective Arm's dying message was just some mistake. He won't wriggle out of it that easily. What did Mr. Tonate see when he first discovered the bloody writing? There has to be a contradiction hidden in his testimony somewhere. Yeah, we know what it is. Because he said multiple times now he clearly saw the entire number. And we know the entire number was not there. She very plainly wrote that. Alright. There's the problem. Follows assault photo. I just want to make doubly sure that L01105R is really what you saw written in blood. Yes, it very clearly said L10015R. But that's odd, because that's not what I see. What on earth are you babbling on about now? Wasn't it you who claimed that the bloody writing was his ID number in the first place? But take a good look at the photo in the bloody writing analysis. Now tell me, does it really say L10015R? Oh, Something is missing, isn't it? And that something is the final R. What is the meaning of this, Mr. Tonate? Oh, right. Now I remember. There was no R on the end.
It was just a slip of the finger. My bad. Come back, my beautiful contradiction. Mr. Wright, I'm not so sure it was just a simple slip of the finger. You have something for me, Athena? I sense that he's extremely agitated, almost panicked. He does look pretty flustered.
Well, Mr. Wright, it appears it was nothing more than a mere mistake.
I don't know. Did he really just make a typo? What about that R? Did Mr. Tonate really see it? He actually saw it. Maybe Mr. Tonate really did see the R, but there's no R anywhere in the bloody writing. What's going on here?
It's right there, I see it.
Huh? Now that I take another good look at the photo, I think maybe.
That's it?
What is it now, Mr. Wright? You trying to imitate Apollo and his cords of steel? I've got it. So that's what happened. Slip of the finger. Is that really all it was? Because I don't think so. I propose that Mr. Tonate really did see the letter R.
But the photo clearly shows that there is no R.
No, Your Honor. Actually, just the opposite's true. The photo shows that Mr. Tonate actually could have seen the R.
If you're gonna make that claim, then you'd better be able to point out what you mean. What part of the photo shows that Mr. Tonate could have seen the R?
Right there. Please look here to the right of the 5. Do you see a little bit of red?
Oh, I see it! Just on the edge of where the floor is broken up.
That's the R that Mr. Tonate saw. It's true that the witness wears some very, very odd goggles, but that doesn't mean his eyesight's bad, nor his brain power. What part of that little smudge looks like an R to you? But what Mr. Tonate saw wasn't that little smudge. There was a whole incomplete R written there, before the floor was damaged by the explosion.
Oh, that explains it, huh?
Care to explain what you mean? Because you just proposed that everything happened in the exact opposite order. Yep, because that's the way it really went down. The timing of when the R was written turns everything about this case around. Now then, if the floor was damaged by the explosion, when was the message written before it? With the bloody message running off the edge of the damaged floor like that, we can only conclude that it was written before the explosion.
But that's ridiculous! If that were true, it overturns your own premise!
That's right. It does. In fact, it turns everything upside down. The victim was not killed by the explosion in the courtroom. She was killed before the explosion ever occurred.
Order! Order in the court!
What kind of preposterous claim is that? Have you forgotten that the victim's body was found at the scene of the explosion? True, but consider this scenario. She was hit on the head and killed before the explosion, or even before the trial began. Her body was subsequently placed in the courtroom ruins after the bombing occurred. That way, it could have been made to look like she was a victim of the blast.
What? It sounds like we had better look into what the victim was doing before the trial. Mr. Payne, did anyone see Detective Arm before the trial?
Let's see. According to the police report... here it is. One person saw the victim before the trial, and that person was Ted Tonate.
Wait, what? No one besides Mr. Tonate saw the victim?
That appears to be the case, Your Honor. I would now ask the court to recall something, specifically Mr. Tonate's words from yesterday. I like that he was typing out the ellipses. It was when Detective Arm and I were transporting the bomb.
Oh my!
Mr. Tonate, just before the trial, you were with the victim. The two of you together at the scene of the crime, courtroom number 4. Your Honor, the defense requests new testimony from Mr. Tonate. We wish to hear what he has to say about his whereabouts before the trial.
Mr. Tonate, your testimony, please.
My testimony, there is no need for... He's completely unnerved, Mr. Wright. He must have hit the nail on the head.
Because
All I did was transport the bomb to the courtroom. I already told you. God, blast this thing. I was only in the courtroom with the victim because of our work. I swear I was only transporting the bomb there. You and the victim were alone together at the scene of the crime. In other words, you certainly had the opportunity to commit murder, did you not? Do you always leave yourself so open to attacks, Mr. Wright? What now, Mr. Payne? Yes, Mr. Tonate may have had the opportunity to kill Detective Arm, but an important piece of your assertion is missing. What important piece? The murder weapon! What do you claim was used to kill the victim? Mr. Payne has a point. Even if Mr. Tonate had the chance, without a weapon, we can't accuse him of the crime. Well, Mr. Tonate? Oh, yes, that's right. I didn't have any sort of thing that could be used as a murder weapon on me. I couldn't possibly have killed Detective Arm. Did he really have nothing he could have used as a murder weapon? What is it, Athena? We're just looking over the victim's autopsy report. I'm hoping there's something in here that can point us in the right direction. Well, it does say that she died from trauma to the back of the head with a flat object. Yeah, and to inflict that specific kind of injury, all you would need is a flat surface, right? A heavy, blunt object with a flat surface. Could definitely be our murder weapon. Well, Mr. Wright, can you indicate for the court what was used to kill Detective Arm? Yeah, it's obvious. I believe I can. Believe being the key word here. You can? Then please do so now. What did Mr. Tonate have that could have been used as the murder weapon? The bomb. Mr. Tonate, you say you didn't have anything that could be used as a weapon, but in fact you had the perfect thing. What? What the devil are you talking about? You had this. That's the bomb! I thought you were trying to prove that the victim wasn't killed by the bomb blast. The bomb blast, no. But I believe Candace Arm was killed with this bomb. Because this is the blunt object that delivered the fatal blow to her head. Please recall the description of Detective Arm's head wound. Trauma to back of head caused by impact with a flat object. We assumed this injury was sustained when her head hit the floor. But a blow from any flat side of this bomb would produce the exact same wound pattern. What's with him? Then show me some proof. Where's the evidence that I hit the victim with the bomb? Ah, he's right. I don't have anything decisive. Did you find any of the victim's blood on the bomb? That would be decisive proof. But too bad! The bomb is blown to bits. It's long gone. Boom! Game over! Yeah! Mr. Wright, is there really nothing on the bomb in this photo? Is that a reference to that one game that had, like, when you lost, they were like, game over, yeah! What was that game? I don't remember. I don't see any blood or anything. Wait, the timer display is a little broken here. It is. Maybe it broke when it made contact with Detective Arm's head. Well, that's definitely a distinct possibility, but unless we find a fragment with the victim's blood on it, it's not going to count. I guess you're right. By setting off the bomb, Tonate managed to obliterate all traces of the murder weapon. What in the world do I do now? At times like this, I've got to change gears and look at things in a different way. Instead of looking for the things he wasn't able to hide, I should be looking for a way to expose the things he did hide. Ted Tonate murdered Detective Arm before the trial started. Then he placed her body in the courtroom after the bomb went off, which means there was something he needed to keep hidden until then. And I think I have just the thing. Time to present the photo that shows exactly what Mr. Tonate had to hide. the bomb transport case, right? Your Honor, please take a look at this. The fact that Mr. Tonate hid this makes it decisive evidence for my case. Oh, I was wrong. I'm not sure I really understand what you mean by that, Mr. Wright. I'm not sure either, Your Honor. Me either. Here's a penalty to inspire you to make more comprehensible assertions in the future. Okay. Well, that was a spectacular belly flop. But I can't back down now. I'd better reconsider what Mr. Tonate could have hidden. Ted Tonate murdered Detective Arm before the trial started. Alright, right. Alright. Time to present the photo that shows exactly what Mr. Tonate had to hide. Was it the bomb? Oh, the missing remote switch? Is that it? No, that's not it. Man. Alright. Better reconsider. Could have hidden. He placed her body in the courtroom. Time to present the photo that shows exactly what he had to hide, okay? Wait a minute. Well, he had to hide her body, right? Alright, I'm gonna save, too, so we don't get, like, a game over. Alright. There we go. Yeah, the courtroom... I think it's this. Your Honor, there's something we've all been overlooking. If the murder took place before the trial, then Mr. Tonate would have had to hide the body somewhere during the trial. Hey, you're right! But if we can figure out where that hiding place was... Exactly. We might be able to find some evidence we can pin him down with. So where could Mr. Tonate have hidden the body during the trial? Now, was I just ahead of things? Because it had to have been the bomb transport case. Wait, a box big enough for a body. A box that was in the courtroom the whole time. And he specifically said nobody was going to touch the box except him. A box nobody would touch, aha, if they thought there was a bomb in it. Mr. Tonate! What is it? Do you finally have some decisive evidence to show me? No, you're the one who's going to show it to me. Come again. You heard me. Now, show me what's inside that bomb transport case. What? Why? No, there's no need. I've got him now. Just before the trial, you killed the victim with a blunt object, and then you placed her body in the ruins of the courtroom after the bomb went off. Clearly, you were trying to make it look like she died in the explosion. But where was the body hidden during the trial? Oh, I hadn't thought of that. The answer's right here. Inside a box made of thick alloy plating that can withstand any impact. No, that's completely false. If it's false, you should have no objection to showing us your transport case. So, let's open it up and take a look inside, shall we? Let's not. Not if you value your life. What's he up to now? Remain calm and listen carefully. This bomb will detonate in 5 minutes. What? Huh? I repeat, this HH-3000 will detonate in 5 minutes. What's going on? Your Honor, I recommend you adjourn this trial before this bomb goes off. Mr. Tonate, are you threatening me? I am the only one who can disable this bomb. If you do not want to die, your only option is to listen to me. But Mr. Tonate, didn't you say that's just a training model? A fake to practice on? I did, but I also lied. This is the real deal. This is the HH-3000. But the HH-3000 was used to blow up courtroom number 4, wasn't it? How do you know it was the real HH-3000 that blew up courtroom number 4? Huh? The bomb that blew up the courtroom was a different one. One that I made. What? Then are we to take that as a confession on your part? Take it any way you would like. Just before the trial. I took the HH-3000 out of the stuffed animal and put my own bomb into it. That was the bomb that exploded and destroyed courtroom number 4. Mr. Tonate, please be reasonable. Do you really expect us to believe a crazy story like that? The HH-3000. It is so unique. I had never seen anything like it. It is so unique that I could not replicate the detonation mechanism, so I just had to have it. Besides, did anyone look inside the stuffed animal during the trial? Did anyone check to see if it really was the HH-3000 in there? I must confess, no one opened the stuffed animal to check. So there really is a possibility that the bomb was switched out? No, not a possibility, a certainty. I did it. So he's had a real bomb with him this whole time? You had better get out of here while you can. You do not have much time. Order! Order in the court! I'm out of here! It's gonna blow! Run! You 4 are still here. Well, well, aren't you brave? It just wouldn't do for the judge presiding over this court to run. But that horrible explosion the other day. The judge looks like he's about to book it for the nearest exit any second. As for Mr. Payne... that is... Ow! And he's off. Mr. Wright, what do we do? It'd better be pretty pathetic to run now, wouldn't it? But the bomb might really go off. Only 3 more minutes, folks. Is that bomb really the HH-3000? What should I do? Run like a yellow-bellied chicken or stand my ground? Gee, I wonder by the wording which one we should do. I can't run now. Well, it's been fun, but I will be going now. With my dear HH-3000, naturally. Oh, and by the way, I would advise against having me followed. Even with no remote switch, this bomb can still be triggered manually. If I think I'm being followed, I will detonate it on the spot. Farewell. You're not going anywhere, Ted Tonate. Oh? Your Honor, there's no reason to be afraid. That bomb is a fake. Are you sure, Mr. Wright? More of your famous bluffing, even at the risk of your own life. Mr. Wright, none of your bluffing now, not at a time like this. Lives are on the line here. I'm not bluffing, and I have proof. Oop, wrong button. You do? Yes, of course, Your Honor. It's right here in the photo of the bomb, clear as day. Proof that Mr. Tonate's bomb is not the real HH-3000. Really? Out with it then, immediately! Where is the proof that what Mr. Tonate is holding is not the real HH-3000? It's the display. The fact that the display's cracked. His isn't. The display for the timer on the bomb in the photo is broken. Most likely it broke when Mr. Tonate used the bomb to attack Detective Arm. But the display on the bomb in front of us is not broken. Oh, you're right! Therefore, this is not the real HH-3000. Mr. Tonate was clearly lying when he said he switched out the bomb in the stuffed animal. The real HH-3000 blew up in courtroom number 4. This bomb is nothing more than a fake, a model used for training purposes. Ah! Fear not, Your Honor. I will examine the inside of the bomb transport case myself. Yes, please do that, Mr. Wright. No! Stop! What is that? Is that a bloodstain? Just as I expected. Your lies have all been blown to bits, Mr. Tonate. I'm confident DNA analysis on this bloodstain will confirm that it's Detective Arm's blood, and that those results will conclusively prove that you murdered Detective Arm. Ooh. How about it, Mr. Tonate? Think you can dismantle this decisive evidence? Dismantle it? You're too late. You missed your chance to run, so now you're out of time.
This HH-3000 is about to explode.
Don't try to threaten us, Mr. Tonate. I've already proved that your bomb is a fake.
It's real! This bomb is the real thing, I tell you! It's real!
Mad Bomber, party of one.
There's no time left. It's going to blow. I have to disarm it. I have to take it apart. I can dismantle anything. I can take apart evidence. I can take apart bombs. I can dismantle it all. Dismantle, 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 dismantle. I'm not gonna make it! Only one thing left to do! Stop!
All right.
Made it!
Game over. Dismantle attempt failed.
It's all over. My life has been blown to pieces. All that stupid woman's fault. I was selling the bombs I disarmed on the black market. When I tried to take this one, she just had to notice, didn't she? She confronted me in courtroom number 4 that day. That's why I had no choice. Before I knew what I was doing, I hit her. It's all her fault. While I was looking for a place to hide her body, she left a message in her own blood. The trial was about to start, so I didn't have time to clean it up. And now all this. I thought for sure I could disguise her death with an explosion. Then that stupid defense attorney started sticking his nose into my business. After my testimony yesterday, I went to courtroom number 4 and I found that kid all up in my bomb transport case. That's when I snuck up behind him and bam! And when the idiot police arrested that little girl, I thought for sure I could pin it all on her. Why? Oh, why? Ted Tonate, you are hereby under arrest on suspicion of the courtroom bombing and the assault on Mr. Justice. Your innocence or guilt will be determined at a later trial. Now then, I see that members of the public have returned to the gallery. One person, however, seems to still be running far, far away. Be that as it may, I will now announce Miss Juniper Woods' verdict. Not guilty!
And nobody's at the prosecution stand.
Court is adjourned.
December 18th, 12:31 p.m. District Court. Defendant lobby number 5.
You did it, boss.
Yeah, I guess we managed to pull it off somehow. So many mysteries cleared up all at once. It was amazing. It just sort of worked out that way, didn't it? That's not the kind of thing that usually just works out. You made it happen. And the way that mean old prosecutor hightailed out of here, that was great. And Mr. Wright, Thena, thank you for everything you did for me. I'm so happy for you, Junie. Now you can go back home to the forest in peace. I hope the both of you will come and visit me there sometime. That would be nice. Thank you for the invitation. I don't know, Mr. Wright. I'm not so sure you could make it all the way up to Junie's house. How high up do you live again, Junie? Around 3,000 feet, I think. What? It's no forest, that's a mountain. But you know, boss, there is something that still bothers me about the case. One little mystery we never got around to solving. Oh, that? Yeah. I was wondering about that too. Is this the unsolved mystery you're thinking of? The missing switch? Right? The remote switch, right? Yeah, I wonder where it disappeared to. Maybe Mr. Tone just got rid of it somewhere. Yeah, it is a pretty big thing to leave unsolved, though. Well, let's leave it up to the police to find. For now, we should be celebrating our not guilty verdict. I guess you're right. Hey, I know. Junie, shall we go report the good news? You know, to that certain someone? Okay. Huh? Her grandmother? No, silly! To Apollo! Oh, right. Well, why don't we all go to the hospital together to see him? Great idea, but he's bored out of his mind. Okay. And so the courtroom bombing case came to a close. But the next trial was just over the horizon. There's never a dull moment with so many lawyers in the office, that's for sure. Apollo Justice, Athena Sykes, and me, Phoenix Wright. Between the three of us, there's no case we can't solve. When our powers combine, we're an unstoppable team. And Captain Law? At least that's what I have believed. What I've believed, yeah. We got another anime scene coming up. But all of that changed with what Apollo said to us that day. It was something that would put my faith in us to the ultimate test. Date unknown, time unknown. Right? Anything, agency.
Sorry, but I'll be taking a leave of absence.
Wait, what do you mean by a leave?
Can you at least give me a reason why? I can only say that this is something I must settle on my own.
Hey, it's Trucy. Apollo's got to go star in Apollo Justice Revengeance.
Oh, why, Apollo? Why are you shutting us out?
What is going on? What happened to you, Apollo? Ever since you put that jacket on, you've changed. Now, for whatever reason, all my mind keeps doing is returning to the day I first met you. We had tackled our first case together, he and I, this past spring. And as we did, I came to know who he is and how he thinks. It was a very peculiar case, one in which the victim was killed by a mythical creature. Killed by a mythical creature, eh? But there we go. That's the end of, yeah. Turnabout countdown is done, and next is the monstrous turnabout. But I'm going to take a quick break, and then we'll be back for the monstrous turnabout. All right, let's go. Continue to the next episode? Yeah. Episode 2, The Monstrous Turnabout.
Long, long ago, the nine-tailed fox defeated the evil Tenmataro and sealed the fallen demon away. To this day, it is said that he slumbers even still within the Forbidden Chamber.
Night, night, Alderman. Sweet dreams. At long last, the revival of Tenmataro is at hand.
A few months prior to the courthouse bombing. Yes, this is another case where they just out and out tell you who the killer is right away. Oh yeah, so I haven't actually played all the cases in Dual Destinies. I started a playthrough of this a couple years ago and got, I think, 4 cases in. So, but this game is non-linear. It likes to jump around in time. So we have gone before the courtroom detonation. The courtroom detonation will not be gotten back to for a while, trust me. April 17th, 12:13 p.m., Right Anything Agency. Hey, so just a couple things to note. I see Trucy's hat. I see Phoenix's Naru Hobo outfit hat. And I see Zach there on the portrait. And then a lot of the other stuff from the previous game. Huh, guess I'm a little early. Oh, hey Apollo. Getting an early start today? Yeah. This is the first job I've had in a while. It's Trucy. Well, aren't we all fired up? Well, it's not every day I get a call from Mr. Wright. What kind of work is it anyway? Mr. Wright didn't mention any details. Work? Is that how he put it? Don't tell me he just wants me to clean the toilet again. You've really become a fixture around here, Apollo. Come to think of it, it's been almost a year since I was hired. A lot's happened since then. But I've settled in nicely despite a few bumps in the road. Like my mentor being a crazed serial killer because he lost a card game. My name is Apollo Justice. I've been practicing law for about a year, but I still have a lot to learn. This is the Right Anything Agency. It's where I work. Don't let the name fool you. It's definitely a law agency. But don't forget that this place is a talent agency too, Polly. It's the law agency part of this office that's usually forgotten. This is Trucy Wright, a budding magician, and adopted daughter of the agency's owner, Phoenix Wright. She sometimes makes me help her with magic tricks. And what's wrong with that? You're one of the agency's talents as well. I was under the impression that I was a lawyer. We better hurry. It doesn't look like Daddy's gonna make it, so let's get going. Huh? Where are we going? What about the job you mentioned? This is the job, Polly. You're supposed to keep me company today. Now come on! Another day of not being a lawyer. I should have seen this coming. Well, this is the Right Anything Agency, you know. And there's no law-related work at the moment, so... Tell me again why I chose to work here. Where is Mr. Wright anyway? Daddy said something about going to meet an acquaintance, but don't worry. Just focus on your job, and I'll tell you exactly what you need to know. Now let's go! We don't have all day. Wait a second! And another day of anything goes begins at the Right Anything Agency. And so, by the way, since this is before that case, this also means Phoenix does not have his law license in this case. April 17th, 1:30 p.m., Ninetales Vale, Yokai Lane. This area massively stretches the fact that this is not set in Japan. Whew. So what are we doing way up here in the mountains? This is Ninetales Vale. Everyone's been talking about the yokai craze here. Yokai? Oh, you mean Japanese monsters? I guess that explains all these weird things here in the great state of California, here in America. Speaking of which, wasn't Ninetales Vale founded by Japanese immigrants? Good save. Yeah, they're holding a festival to boost tourism over at the Alderman's Manor. My friend who works there invited us. That's why we're here. In other words, I'm your chaperone because your dad was too busy. Daddy said that with those horns of yours, you'd make a great addition to their festival. I mean, you look just like a Japanese demon. Wasn't that so thoughtful of him, Polly? I could do without thoughtfulness like that. Actually, Apollo, you could get the Gauntlet of Ogres and seal the souls of the demons to your right hand, like Capcom's other hit game, Onimusha. Oh, it's almost time. Come on, Polly. The festival grounds are this way. All right, I guess it's time to move to QB Manor Garden. Can we talk to her? The monster craze. This monster craze, come to think of it, I think I heard about it on TV. It's supposedly how Ninetales Vale made a comeback from the brink of fiscal disaster. Our agency could sure use something positive like that. Oh, I know. Let's jump on board the monster craze. You and Daddy would be a perfect comedy duo. You could call yourselves Agni and Rudra, Demon Kings of Comedy. Daddy sets them up, and you knock them down. Hey, I think I hit the jackpot with this idea. Agni and... Isn't that one of the weapon pairs from Devil May Cry? I think it is. Sorry, but I plan on staying a lawyer. You do? You don't have to act so surprised by that. What to do? Hey, Tercy, have you seen my attorney's badge? How could you lose something so important? Sometimes I really wonder about you, Apollo. This is so weird. I wonder if I dropped it somewhere. Oh, look! What are these panties doing here? Forget about panties. I'm looking for my badge. 3, 2, 1, ta-da! Did you forget? These are my magic panties. Hey, that's my attorney's badge. Wow, how'd you do that? I set it all up while we were back at the office. Wow, I didn't even... Wait, you took my badge? Okay. Show her the attorney's badge. Check it out. You're so lucky, Apollo. Everyone can see what you do with just a flash of your badge. What about you, Trucy? People can tell you're a magician by the way you're dressed. Yeah, but I can't always dress like this, like when I'm at school and stuff. You could always show you're a magician by making things appear or disappear. You mean like this? 3, 2, 1. Ta-da! Magic or no. Aren't you a little old to be showing those things in public? Then maybe I'll become a lawyer, too. You're abandoning your dream just like that? Alright, we're gonna go to QB Manor Garden. Okay. April 17th, 2:05 p.m., QB Manor Garden. Oh, this place is really something. It definitely feels like a different world here. Trucy. Oh. Jinxie! And this is... my friend Jinxie Tenma. She's the one who invited us. She just happens to be the maid here. 2 horns. The love of red. Are you a demon? No. I'm Apollo Justice, and he is a demon! What the? Be gone, foul beast! You look great, Polly. Fills in some of that space on your forehead. Oh, what is this thing? It's a warding charm. Jinxie puts them on all the monsters she finds. But I'm not a monster. Maybe I should have told her you're a good demon. Or you could just say I'm human. The red demon. Emissary of the underworld. I got up early to do my hair for this. Can I take this off now? So you can eat me? I'm not gonna eat you! Forgive me, oh terrible one! Tone down your cords of steel, Apollo. You're scaring her out of her wits. Don't worry. I'm already full. Please stay that way. Great. Now I'm playing along too. We can talk. Ninetales Vale. So I wanted to ask you about Ninetales Vale. Ah! Be gone, foul demon. Looks like you've been demonized, Polly. Literally. I'm starting to wonder if I really am a demon myself. Please don't eat me. I have food if you're hungry. This isn't working. We won't get anything out of her until we set the record straight. If only we had some way to prove you're not as scary as you look. Ouch, unnecessary roughness. Looks like I have to present some proof. Proof that I'm 100% human. I guess we'll just present the lawyer's badge? I wanted to show you this. What is it? It's my attorney's badge, you see? I'm not a demon, I'm a lawyer. Really? You're a lawyer? Ooh, maybe now she'll stop calling me a demon. Does it protect you from Enma Dio's judgment? Who's Enma Dio? I read somewhere that he's the demon lord who judges the dead for their sins. Uh-oh. I think now she thinks you're a demon lawyer from hell, Polly. Can I just go back to being a normal demon? Please don't boil me in a scalding cauldron. I'd prefer a Turkish bath if possible. A Turkish bath? Isn't that more sauna than bath? Don't worry, Jinxie. He's a good demon. He'll save you if you ever go astray. Please, Mr. Demon Lawyer, sir. Have mercy on my soul. I told you, I'm not a demon. Intrusive, you're just making these work. Ah! You just leave that Enma Dio to me. Hey, isn't that great, Jinxie? Uh-huh. I'm no longer scared to cross into the afterlife. Will someone tell these two I'm human already? Alright. So, JC, I hear this village is the epicenter of the monster craze. Uh-huh. Barely anyone had ever even heard of it before, and now it's packed with tourists. Really? So the monster craze is the reason behind today's festival? It was the alderman's idea, but I'd be careful if I were you. There are lots and lots of yokai prowling about Ninetales Vale. Prowling about? You mean like wild animals or something? Uh-huh, and they're hungry too. Man-eating monsters? And they're all over the place? Uh-huh. In fact, there was one at the manor yesterday. I heard the doorbell ring, but when I opened the door, nobody was there. It was the Ding-Dong Demon. How else could you explain it? Well, when I was a kid, my friends used to play this prank called Ding Dong Ditch. Well, that doesn't prove yokai aren't real. There's even one here at the manor. The demon Tenma Taro. He's imprisoned in the Forbidden Chamber. Tenma Taro? The Forbidden Chamber? Tenma Taro? About that yokai you said was imprisoned here at the manor? Is it true? Uh-huh. He's a super evil demon named Tenma Taro. Here, take a look at this scroll. Tenma Taro's the dark demon you see here. He's super evil and super scary. So that's the yokai imprisoned in the Forbidden Chamber? Uh-huh. He was defeated by the village guardian yokai, the nine-tailed fox. Naruto? And locked away forever. The interesting crossover. So you're saying Tenma Taro was still trapped inside the Forbidden Chamber? Uh-huh. But he's just biding his time until he can escape. Still, we should be perfectly safe. Because there's a really powerful sealing charm on the door keeping it shut tight. What a charming security system. You can keep the scroll if you want. The alderman gave me this, but just holding it gives me the chills, so Uh-huh. Thanks, Jinxie. Maybe I'll give this to Mr. Wright. Yokai Legends Scroll added to the court record. So, I was wondering... Are those things on your forehead also warding charms, Jinxie? Yes. They're to prevent evil things from getting inside me. Papa told me to wear them. Evil things? Apollo, don't you dare take those charms off her forehead. They have to stay there. Forever. Got it? I wonder what would happen if I did take them off. It's time for me to get back to work. Thanks for inviting us, Jinxie. You're welcome. Oh, and before I forget, there's going to be a surprise event today. Even I don't know what to expect, but it's sure to be fun. Better not be a yokai parade. She'd probably drop dead from fright. Yeah. Ah, demon! Oh, wait. It's just someone in a suit, right? Tenmataro! Tenmataro? The demon from the Forbidden Chamber? Please don't hurt me! Be gone, be gone, be gone! Better watch out, little girl, or I'll snatch you away. Charm, charm, charm. Where's that die and go to heaven charm? Oh, she put it on her own forehead this time. She sure gives up quick. Huh? Why is everyone hiding their faces? Hey, you there! You mustn't stare at Tenmataro like that! Lower your eyes! He'll steal your soul if you're not careful. Huh? Steal my soul? Seriously? Your devilry stops here and now, Tenmataro. Now what? Look, Apollo. There's somebody up on the roof! Whoa. I see them. They're all animated and stuff. Ha 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 ha! That booming laugh. Could it be? My 9 golden tails are proof of my unassailable righteousness. With my band of 100 minions, I vanquish evil from the land. I am the wrestler of righteousness. Yaha! The Golden Lord of Yokai, the amazing 9 Tails, is here! Fear not, good little boys and girls, for I shall defeat Tenmataro! Ha 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 ha! Hooray! Hooray! It's the amazing 9 Tails! Up to your no good tricks again, eh, Tenmataro? Well, not on my watch. Ah! Ha 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 ha! There's nothing to fear now, my child. I have been banished, Tenmataro. You and your people can now live in peace. Thank you, Mr. Amazing 9 Tails, sir. Now I must be off. Another match and another foe to vanquish. Await. What was that all about? Did that wrestler just chase off a yokai? Looked like it came out of the Alderman's Manor. That was the amazing 9 Tails! He's a pro wrestler from right here in 9 Tails Vale. But no one knows his true identity. Jinxie sure seems chipper all of a sudden. What was that all about? Him banishing Tenmataro? That was a yokai exorcism. It's an annual ritual where Tenmataro is released to remind us of his wickedness. In the end, the 9-tailed fox drives Tenmataro out and purifies our village. But the amazing 9 Tails did the honors this year. So that was the big surprise, huh? The amazing 9 Tails and Tenmataro, huh? Well, whatever floats her boat. Oh, would you look at the time? I'd better get back to work. Please excuse me. She's a strange one, all right. I think she's sweet, in her own special way. Knowing Trushi, she probably has lots of friends who are sweet in their own way. Well, still have some time to kill. Might as well see the rest of 9 Tails Vale while we're here. The fun never stops, does it? And there was much festivaling. April 17th, 3:40 p.m., QB Manor Garden. Tenmataro! I'm coming to your house to kill you! I think I bought nearly every yokai souvenir that was for sale. I know, because my wallet's running on empty. Huh? What's with all the commotion over there? Huh? Hey, isn't that your friend Jinxie? I hope everything's okay. It's terrible! Calm down, Jinxie. Tell us what happened. The demon Mataro. He killed Alderman Kyubi. What? Wait, killed isn't dead? Yes, and Mataro did it. Mataro? You stay here while I go have a look. Please, wait. Huh? Ow! It's a Mataro warding charm. It should protect you, but please, be careful. The Alderman's in the Fox Chamber, at the top of the main staircase. Okay, got it. Mataro warding charm slipped into pocket. Alright. April 17th, Kyubi Manor. Fox Chamber.
Are you all right? Who are you? Help! Someone call an ambulance!
The police arrived soon after that, at which point I returned to the festival grounds. Apparently the man impaled by the spear was already dead, but there was one other person there, and he was immediately rushed to the hospital. April 17th, Kyubi Manor, Garden. Thank goodness the other man's gonna be fine. Sounds like he'd only been unconscious. You think Jinxie's gonna be okay? I'm sure she'll be back to her old self in no time. At least she's calm enough for the police to question her now. And I'd sure love to know what crazy animal left those feathers and tracks. Oh look, here comes Jinxie. Hi, Trucy. Hi, Mr. Demon Lawyer. Feeling any better? I was wondering if you're up to filling us up on what happened? Yeah, let's figure this out. Alright. About what happened. So the man with the spear in his chest was already dead? Uh-huh. It was Alderman Kyubi. When I found him, he was already... So the victim was the village alderman. And the one who was found alive? Who was he? Damien Tenma. He's the mayor of the neighboring city, Tenma Town. They arrested him. So he's the killer? Ow! No, Papa didn't kill anyone. Papa, isn't your father? That's right. Jinxie's dad is mayor of Tenma Town. No way. Yes, way. But he's innocent. This just got way more complicated. The victim was the alderman of Ninetails Vale, and Jinxie's father, the mayor of Tenma Town, was arrested for the crime. Sounds like we have some investigating to do. I know this is difficult, Jinxie, but you need to hang in there. I know. I'll try my best. Would you mind telling me a little more about the victim? The alderman. So the victim was the village alderman. What can you tell me about him? His name was Rex Kyubi. They say his family has ties to the legendary nine-tailed fox. He was really kind, and he always looked out for me. He was a former pro wrestler, and I even heard he knew the amazing Ninetails. A former pro wrestler, huh? That's something to keep in mind. With your father being mayor and all, I guess you're originally from Tenma Town, huh? So then why did you come work here? It was to overcome your fears, right, Jinxie? Uh-huh. Plus, Mama was from Ninetails Vale, though she's no longer with us. She loved these flowers. Always wanted to live where Ninetails flowers grew. Wow, what a beautiful flower! And with exactly 9 petals, too.
Just looking at them gives me courage, even when I'm scared of yokai.
Ninetail's flower added to the court record. Jinxie, when you first told us what happened, you said the killer was a demon.
Uh-huh. The warding charm in the Forbidden Chamber's door. It's been removed.
The Forbidden Chamber's door. That big door that was barred shut. There wasn't a charm on it when I checked it out. So I guess it was removed by someone.
That's how Tenmataro escaped! Oh! When I try and remember what happened, it all goes fuzzy.
Jinxie, you should go get some rest. You've been through a lot today. Between the warding charm being removed, and the black feathers and weird tracks, I could see how a superstitious person might think a demon was the killer.
Apollo, maybe this is your chance.
A chance for what?
To do the right thing and defend Jinxie's dad in court.
Who, me? Wouldn't a man like Mayor Tenma have access to more experienced lawyers?
You want to know what the detective said? They doubted there was a lawyer who could get a not guilty verdict in this one.
Sounds like they're expecting an open and shut case.
Don't worry, Jinxie. If anyone can prove your dad's innocence, it's Polly. What? You'll accept the case, won't you, Polly?
Oh, it's all over, isn't it? I'll be all alone for the rest of my life. All right. Jinx already lost her mother. All right.
Jinxie, leave your father's defense to me. Attaboy, Polly.
You're gonna help Papa, Mr. Demon Lawyer?
Yep, because that's what lawyers do.
Plus, no toilet cleaning for a while.
I'll do whatever it takes to make sure your father walks away a free man.
Thank you, Mr. Demon Lawyer. I can tell you're one of the good ones. Red demons are usually so mean.
It's been a while, but I'll be fine. Ready or not, here comes justice.
Guess I ought to go and meet my new client. But before I forget, I better jot this down in my notebook. Hey, Apollo, what's the notebook for? Oh, I just thought I should jot down some stuff about the case. And so I don't misplace them, I'm putting my notes in the court record. I guess is what you would call a to-do list.
Oh, sounds handy.
To read my notes, I just open the court record with E. Then I can switch between the tabs using Q and E.
Oh, I almost forgot.
So about Jinxie's father,
no matter how scary he seems, promise me
you'll resist the urge to run away.
Wait, what?
His angry glare can paralyze you with fear.
And some claim he can even shoot laser beams from his eyes.
Well, maybe Papa isn't really that scary.
A paralyzing stare, laser beams from his eyes. He sounds like some kind of monster. I think it's about time I see Jinxie off. I'll head back to the office after I'm done. Okay, thanks. All right. Well, I like this new map, by the way. I noticed that before. Is there something we're supposed to look at here? No, we have no option to examine, so the only thing we can do is go to the detention center. Okay, let's do it. April 17th, detention center, visitors room. Ah, visiting hours. Perfect timing. I hope he's not as scary as he sounds. Who are you? Hey, so you're Damien Tenma, right? Right? I'm Apollo Justice, attorney at law. I'm here to I'm here to help. Huh? Oh, let me out of here. Sorry. I get a little loud sometimes. How incredibly rude. Sorry. Did I do something to offend you? A visitor, when all others shun me like a common criminal. And here I am with nothing to offer. I am the epitome of rudeness. Wait, so he wasn't mad at me? Unworthy as I am, I, Damien Tenma, shall breach these walls, so that I may treat my benefactor to some tea, and maybe some cookies, too. No, wait. We can do tea and cookies
after we prove your innocence. How about you start by telling me what happened? Oh, I see. So tea and cookies can wait, can they? Whew, that was close. We don't need jailbreak added to the list of charges. Seems like a good guy, but with a face like that, you can see why he's misunderstood. Let's talk to him. Reason for arrest. Mayor Tenma, do you mind if I ask you why you were arrested? Whoa! Sorry, I guess some things are better left unsaid. Bah! Excuse me? To think a public paragon such as I could be treated like this? This arrest should have never happened. Go on. I fear the ill effects it will have on our youth. Now I've but one choice. I must leave here at once, if only to protect the moral fiber of our youth. No, wait! You can protect the moral fiber of our youth after you've been declared not guilty. I suppose you're right. Whew! Our youth just came this close to quite a scare. My fingerprints were on the spear that killed Alderman Kyubi. That's why I was arrested. Your prints were on the murder weapon? Well, that's never good. Any idea how they got there? None. For I hardly remember a thing, you see. I was fast asleep at the time. Someone must have slipped me a sleeping pill or something. What's worse, somebody clobbered me on the head. I see. A drug-induced slumber. A blow to the head. No wonder you hardly remember a thing. Oh. Huh? Is that some kind of strange laugh? Well, I think we can safely assume your prints were planted while you were unconscious. The motive. What do the police have on you as far as motive is concerned? Truth be told, there's been a bit of trouble between the alderman and I, as of late. Oh? Was it personal in nature? Nothing like that. It's a long story. But suffice to say, I've been pushing to merge Nine Tails Vale with Tenma Town. Surrender Nine Tails Vale to Tenma Town now! Yikes! That's what I told him. I'd like to tell you to stop shouting like that, but I'm too scared. So, that's the motive the police have established for the Alderman's murder? Indeed it is. After all, Alderman Kyubi was dead set against a municipal merger. And that's why they think you killed him? He was in your way. Oh! Curses! Mayor Tenma, are you okay? Jinxie, forgive me. I never meant to worry you like this. It'll work out fine. Just leave it to me. If only it really were that easy. I don't even know where to start. Thank you for meeting with me, Mayor Tenma. Please, wait. My daughter, Jinxie. Yes? She already lost her mother, and now with me being held in here, I fear she'll be terribly lonely. I hesitate to ask, but I beg you, be a friend to her in her time of need. Leave it to me. Jersey and I will look after your daughter. I shall rest a little easier then. You know, you remind me of some of the new friends Jinxie has been talking about. New friends? Yes. It seems she's made some new friends since she started working in Nine Tails Vale. They're quite the unusual bunch, too. There's a lady with an exceptionally long neck, a young lad with an incredibly long tongue, and many other interesting characters. Friends? Sounds more like a bunch of monsters to me. Now, if you would excuse me, it appears my time is up. Oh, why am I so tired? I must have been more tense than I thought. Still, I'm glad he didn't turn out to be as scary as he looks. A call? Oh, it's Mr. Wright. Hey, I recognize that cell phone ringtone. Yeah. Justice here. Apollo, is that you? Hi, Mr. Wright. What can I do for you? Jersey told me you've taken on a new case. Oh, that. It was kind of spur of the moment. He's actually calling me about a case? That's fine, but I have a favor to ask. Sure, what is it? I'm at the airport right now. There was someone I had to meet. A new addition to the agency, actually. Her name is Athena Sykes, and she just passed the bar. That's right. I remember hearing about her coming to join us. I guess that was today. She took off as soon as I told her you needed help with a case. And it was like there was no stopping her. Wait, what? Where is she now? Probably somewhere in Ninetails Vale by now. That's where that favor I mentioned comes in. I need you to go find her. But I've never even met her before. What does she look like? She'll be the girl in the yellow suit, sporting an attorney's badge. Okay, I'll find her. A new addition to the agency. Well, I better get back to Ninetails Vale quick. Here we go. Yokai Lane, I guess? April 17th, Ninetails Vale. Yokai Lane. I already told you I'm a lawyer assigned to this case. I need to study the crime scene. So if you'd please tell me where QB Manor is. You can't fool me. You're just some delinquent high school student playing hooky. You stupid, pig-headed... This attorney's badge isn't just for show, you know? Looks like I just found Miss Athena Sykes. Why won't you believe me? Don't expect me to defend you in court if you ever get arrested. Well, I'm the one who usually does the arrest things, so... say, shouldn't you be getting back to school? I already told you, I'm a lawyer, not a student. That's it, enough of your lies. You're coming with me. Get your hands off of me!
What the?
Oh, I think you can watch out for the bystander next time. Whoops! Are you okay? I think so, but that police officer's out cold. I am so sorry. I do that when people suddenly grab me. It's like a reflex or something. Reflex? Sounds more like a felony. You're Athena Sykes, I take it? That would be me. And you are? I'm Apollo Justice. I work at the Write Anything Agency. Write Anything Agency? What a fishy-sounding name. It's a long story, but it is a law office, among other things. Didn't Mr. Wright explain it to you? Oh, right, that right. So then you must be... Where have you been? I've been looking all over for you. I could say the same thing to you. Well, here I am. Now, how about telling me a little bit about yourself? Mr. Wright didn't really tell me much, as always. Ah, of course. Feel free to ask away. All right. Athena Sykes. So, Athena, I hear you just passed the bar. That's right. And here's my shiny new badge to prove it. Isn't it beautiful? Oh, so you must be a bit younger than me. A bit more than you might think, in fact. I'm only 18. 18? The world did you become a lawyer at that age? I skipped a few grades while I was an exchange student in Europe. And I got my license to practice law while I was over there. All I can say is, wow. She must be a genius or something. I also studied analytical psychology. Thought it might help me be a better lawyer. Psychology helps her be a better lawyer? How exactly does that work? Now let's talk about the client first. So, tell me about our client. What are they like? Oh, right, you haven't met him yet. Well... And that about sums it up. He's more worried about his daughter than himself. What a wonderful father. Wait, are you crying? I'm not crying! There was something in my eye. Oh, they're called tears. Moving right along, let's get down to business. Helping our client is priority number one. Talk about psychology. So Athena, you mentioned studying psychology. That's right. I've always wanted to bring analytical psychology into the courtroom. The power of psychology will bring a breath of fresh air to the legal system. Oh, really? So how do you plan on using it to defend our client? Well, for example, I can try to listen in on a witness's inner voice.
and then analyze their psychological state with the help of my trusty partner, Widget. Widget? This device around my neck here. Say hi, Widget. Hi, Widget. It talks? Whoa, you need a volume knob. Anyway, the little guy will sometimes say what I'm feeling. Awkward. Don't worry, we'll get used to it. Now, that I seriously doubt. Oh, I almost forgot. I have something you might be interested in. I got it on my way here. You think it might have something to do with our case? A special edition covering our case? That was quick. That's the whole point of special editions, isn't it? To be the first to get the scoop? Rapido! Right, well, let's see what it says here. What's the deal with the Spanish? Tenmataro, real or flight of fancy? Tenmataro was seen... What? He was seen flying through the sky? Yeah, somebody happened to snap that photo near Ninetails Vale. The article goes on to say it might be connected to our case. Apparently, that photo was shot right after the murder occurred. Well, there were black feathers and strange tracks at the crime scene. I'm not surprised the locals think a yokai was involved. Wait a second. Yokai? As in one of those Japanese monsters? My God! You don't actually think it was a supernatural murder, do you? No, of course not. Now German? We're not just English. Special edition paper added to the court record. Okay. Andale, Apollo! Let's get cracking on that crime scene already. Alright. Okay, what's next on the list? Investigating the crime scene. What else? Well, what are we waiting for? Last one there is a rotten egg. We don't have to run all the way there. Okay, then how about speed walking? Why does this have to be a competition at all? Alright, let's go. QB Manor Foyer. April 17th, QB Manor Foyer. Do you hear that? It sounds like a TV or something. Oh, look! There's a TV in that little room in the corner. In other news, the mysterious masked wrestler, the Amazing Ninetails, has been confirmed missing, according to sources close to the wrestler. It appears he disappeared sometime after the special event held in Ninetails Vale today. He also failed to appear at a match today when he was scheduled to defend his title. Local villagers say his disappearance may be connected with Tenmataro's recent escape. So that wrestler's gone missing? Hey, you two! You don't belong in here! Don't worry, there's nothing suspicious. What about them horns of yours? They look mighty suspicious if you ask me. Horns? That's my hair. Anyway, we're lawyers, and we're here to... You're them lawyers come to defend Mayor Tenma, ain't ya? I should have reckoned with what that expensive-looking bracelet you got there. The name's Phineas Filch. I'm the caretaker here. Pleased to meet ya. Same here. Wow, talk about a quick change of heart. So tell me, demon lawyer, bet you use them demonic horns of yours to scare the bejeebas out of the witnesses, huh? Come here, you little horn demon, you. Ouch! These horns, my hair isn't meant to threaten anyone. They ain't? It seems a mighty big waste of perfectly good horns, if you ask me. Then again, ain't none of my business, so... That was fast. Guess he's done with me. Well, I'd best get back to work. Halt! Stop right there! Huh? Me? Apollo, your bracelet's gone. Oh. Don't you worry, Mr. Lawyer, sir. I'll check the lost and found later. What's on his wrist there? Somehow, I don't think that'll be necessary. Just check your wrist right now. Oh! The cat's out of the bag! It was barely in the bag in the first place. That was a pretty pathetic attempt. Sorry, I'm so sorry. I just couldn't control myself. Please forgive me. I'm begging you. Sheesh, I almost feel sorry for him now. What should we do about him, Apollo? Well, I got my bracelet back, and he seems sorry enough, so...
I knew you'd understand, lawyer, sir. You obviously got a big heart. As big as the wad of cash in your wallet, I hope. You leave my wallet out of this. Oh, hey, didn't you just finish apologizing for stealing from us? Run away. Head for the hills. Get back here, you. Talk about a quick escape. Looks like he dropped a few things. Looks like a pair of diagrams. This one's of the crime scene, and here's one of the foyer. He left his shoes behind, too. The guy's the living definition of a bumbling thief. Let's hang on to his shoes. We can give them back next time we see him. As for the diagrams, I say we keep them. They look like something the police might draw. I wonder where the caretaker got them. Crime scene diagram added to the court record. Cool. Foyer diagram added to the court record. And now then, as I recall, the Fox chamber should be at the top of those stairs. April 17th, Kyubi Manor. Fox chamber. Whoa! Where'd all these black feathers and weird tracks come from? The popular opinion seems to be that they're from Tenmataro. You mean the great evil has returned? Even if he did, I'd be laughed out of the courthouse trying to indict him. Hey, who are you and what are you doing here? This is a crime scene. And who are you? Are you with the police? I asked first. Who are you, and what are you doing here? On second thought, I'm placing you under arrest for disturbing a crime scene. Ah, under arrest? But... Save it for the boys back at HQ. Now come quietly or else. I don't want to be late for lunch. Please, wait! We're Mayor Tenma's lawyers. Oh, well, why didn't you say so? So, you're the lawyers I heard about. Ha 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 ha! I almost took you two in. You two sure were suspicious, though. I don't know how many more times I can take being called suspicious in one day. Sorry, we didn't catch your name. My name? I'm Bobby Fulbright, the heroic detective who defends our good citizens from evil. The champion of justice, who comes running whenever you're in need. And my catchphrase? It's "In Justice We Trust." Oh good, he works for the police, so we know we can trust him. Yes. Oh boy, this guy's a story and a half. So, what can I do for you? Let's talk. Investigating the scene. So, would it be okay if we had a look around? Certainly not! No unauthorized personnel allowed! Couldn't you make an exception? Cease and desist at once! We have to deal with my little friend here. Ah! Yikes, is he reaching for his... In justice we trust! Phew. It's just his badge. You may be Mayor Tenma's attorneys, but you still need authorization to cross the police line. Apollo, let's see if we can't change his mind. Good luck. Let me know how it goes. I bet he's as dense as heroes come. Persuasion. You're wasting your time and mine. Nobody's crossing this line without authorization. And a wall of justice keeping injustice. It would be you. At bay. I knew it. Look, there's just us and you here, right? Justice and me, you say? That's right. Are you trying to say that Justice and I aren't enough to keep you out? What? Huh? No, silly. You're saying that you're an inspiration in our quest for justice. No! It can't be! You have him on the ropes now, Athena. If we're on the side of justice, would you let us through? But guarding the crime scene is a part of justice too. Sure, but only a bad guy would stand in the way of justice, right? Oh! Whose justice is the most just here? Well, we can't have a fair and just trial without a thorough investigation, so... Oh, Lady Justice, What would you have me do?
I think we really got to him. Yeah, he seems pretty neurotic as far as champions of justice go. Our pleas for justice must have had a huge impact. It's tying him up in knots. And now's our chance to start looking around. And after all that about authorized personnel only, this was surprisingly easy.
Should I stop them? I let them through. Whose justice is more just?
Well, let's get to work. We're supposed to be finding clues related to the crime, right?
Right. A search of the crime scene should turn up some evidence we can use at the trial.
Let's try viewing the crime scene from different angles. You never know what's hiding just around the corner, right? So we move the cursor with WASD and change our perspective with B and M. If there's a particular spot you want to examine, just give it a tap. Okay, let's leave no stone unturned. Not alone, commencez! Let's get started! Alright, well, let's see. Okay, so we can, like, look at the room from different angles because we're in glorious 3D. I would say now, but I guess we should say again because, you know, we have done the Ace Attorney, the Great Ace Attorney trilogy before this, or the collection. What's this? It's shining. Huh, what do we have here? Looks like a statue of the nine-tailed fox and Tenmataro battling it out. Yeah, careful, Apollo. It's got blood on it. Really? Hey, you're right. I wonder if it's the alderman's blood.
No, it's Chris's blood.
How can you remain so calm after seeing all this blood? Well, this isn't the first time I've seen something like this, so... You're no fun at all. At least act surprised or grossed out or something for my first case. I'm already a lawyer. You want me to be an actor, too? Fox and Demon statue added to the court record. Nice. And yes, Mr. Fulbright is going to be our detective for the game. So Emma is kind of a no-show in this one. Look, a cat with two tails. No such thing. Oh, and this lady has a really long neck. How funny is that? There's no way a creature like that could ever exist. She'd have a tough time swallowing. Apollo, I bet you were one of those kids who didn't believe in Santa Claus.
What's that got to do with anything?
Alright. What's this? Look, trophies! Ooh, this one was awarded to Alderman Kyubi. The Amazing Ninetales Yokai Division winner, Tenma Town Pro Wrestling Tournament. Yokai Division? I didn't know you could have a division of one. Apollo, you should enter the tournament next time. And I have the perfect name for you, the Mysterious Firebrand. A mild-mannered masked lawyer by day, demonic masked wrestler by night. No one's gonna hire a masked lawyer, Athena.
I don't know about that one.
Because this was made before Great Ace Attorney, so, you know... I don't want to spoil it for anyone who hasn't seen it, but let's just say there is a masked lawyer in that. Okay. What is up here? Huh, that looks like an air vent. It's pretty high up there. What if you got a running start and jumped? I doubt even a high jumper could make it. Ugh, don't rule it out before you try it. Besides, I'm an excellent jumper. Even so, that must be about 9 feet high. Like I said, you don't know until you try, Monsieur Justice. She doesn't know when to give up and when to stop using foreign words. Stop talking foreign. This is America. Use American. So this is where Alderman Kyubi's body was found. Apparently, the murder weapon, a spear, had Mayor Tenma's prints on it. That's not good.
Never fear. Detective Fulbright is here. Yikes! Of course, I can't offer you any information on my investigation, so... in the name of justice, I must say goodbye!
What was that all about? Doesn't this Tanuki statue remind you of the manor's caretaker, Phineas Filch? The raccoon-looking thing? Yeah, it does look like him. Oh, I just got the best idea. We should knock it over. It might transform back into Mr. Filch. Mr. Filch is mischievous, but he's not magical, you know. Way to waste a brilliant idea, Apollo. He's not got the Tanuki suit. This isn't Mario Brothers 3. It's a folding screen. I wonder what they were using it for. I read that the Japanese used to use these in drafty rooms, but now they're just for show. You mean like my attorney's badge? Poor Athena. That cop treating her like a child must have really bothered her. Huh? There's something behind the door. Is it a broken Tanuki statue? Whatever it is, it looks like it's broken. Probably broke when the door was opened. Why would anyone put something there? Yeah, that wasn't very smart. Maybe it was Jinxie. She was the first one to discover the body. She must have heard the screams and come running in here in a panic. Well, look at you, Apollo. Now you're using analytical psychology too. I am? Wow, you really learn quick. But I guess I shouldn't be surprised. You're the ace attorney of Write Anything Agency. I can't tell whether she's serious or not. Hey, yeah, she said the thing. Now, if Trucy said something like that, I would immediately know she was messing with me. Let's see. What do we got up here? Apollo, what words come to mind when you watch that pendulum in there? Unsteady and, restless. That's a direct representation of your current state of mind. Wait! That was some kind of psychological test? My diagnosis? This strange case has made you anxious, causing you to lose your cool. You're actually not that far off the mark. Alright. What do we got over here? This one's a spear, but what about this one? It looks like a giant pair of pliers. Looks like something a demon might use. Saw something like that in the manga once. Really? What are they used for? Oh, things like pinching through cheeks. Ugh! And pulling out tongues. Stop! Stop! Oh, and you should see what they can do to a person's eyes. Okay, I get the idea. Stop telling me about Berserk. But I'm sure this thing is just a simple can opener or something like that. Demons eat canned food? I always wondered what they ate besides people. Wait. Oh, that. Okay. Like, kind of wish there was a giant pair of clippers, hedge clippers, so we could have a reference to Clock Tower, which is another very, very, very forgotten Capcom franchise. Let's see. Look, the statue only has one tail. Maybe it's the nine-tailed fox's sidekick. I bet the number of tails represents a yokai's power. So if you had two Apollo, I'd only have one? Wait, what? And not that it means you're better than me, got it? Like I said, what? Of course, it's the sidekick. Well, he'd have two tails if he was a sidekick, right? But that would make Apollo the blue hedgehog? There's something wedged under this chair. Let's see if we can't lift it up and... Freeze! Yikes! No disturbing crime scene evidence, even if you are the mayor's lawyers. He does have a point there. Hey, Detective Fulbright, did you hear about that attack over on Yokai Lane? I heard an elderly woman was assaulted by a strange yokai, shaped like a roll of cloth. And you waited till now to tell me? I better get over there at once. In justice we trust! That was surprisingly easy. Okay, Apollo, now's our chance to look around some more. The more I get to know her, the scarier she gets. Hope she never finds my weakness. Whatever this is, it's stuck on tight. Looks like a large blood-stained cloth. The blood's probably the alderman's, but it's pretty far from his body. Wonder how it got here. And why does this seem important? It's an interesting fact.
Wow, this is a pricey-looking chair. Apparently, the mayor was found drugged and unconscious in it. Really? Yeah, and when he came to, he was arrested for murder. Talk about your rude awakenings. So he's the prime suspect in a crime he knows nothing about? That stinks. Oh, poor Mr. Tenma. He must be feeling so scared and confused. Apollo, it's up to us to save him. It's like she's on her own emotional roller coaster. Alright, what about we got here? The Forbidden Chamber. They say the demon Tenmataro was imprisoned in there before his escape. Think we could get this door open? It's worth a try. No good. It's shut tight. I don't even see a keyhole. Seems pretty hopeless. In justice we trust! Yikes! Did I just hear the voice of someone in need? Allow me to fill you in. This door simply will not open. We've tried and tried, but it won't budge. It's an essential part of the culture found in this manor, so we can't blow it up either. So an unopenable door, right. According to Miss Jinxie Tenma, it was shut tight when she came across the crime scene. Thanks for the tip, Detective Fulbright. We didn't expect you to be so helpful. Oh! Forget I just said that! So the Forbidden Chamber was shut tight at the time of the murder. Sounds like something I'd better keep in mind. I like that he just keeps running in and out of the room constantly. Leaking things to defense attorneys. It is the spirit of Gumshoe is upon him. These weird tracks must have been made when somebody stepped in the alderman's blood. Maybe the killer inadvertently made them when they were fleeing. They're pretty big tracks, almost bird-like. The feathers also point to a bird. Then it must be one big bird. And not of the friendly yellow type either. Oh my, a Sesame Street reference. Maybe it's some mutant bird creature. So your theory is a giant mutant bird murdered Alderman QB with a spear. It's more plausible than saying a monster or yokai did it. Sorry to burst your bubble, but a giant spear-wielding bird is, by definition, a monster. Yes, a giant spear-wielding bird. Sorry, that's a boss from Mischief Makers. Nothing much to see on this side. Actually, he wielded a lance. Maybe I should go check the other side. Alright. I think we've kind of gotten all the angles. Is there anything that we're missing looking at? We get that, we got the chair, we got all that. Yeah. We're gonna play adventure game here and scrub our mouse across everything until we find anything that we might have missed. Oh, the window. Hey, this window opens. And outside, we have ourselves a steep cliff. The window only opens about 6 inches, not wide enough for anyone to get in or out. Look, Apollo! There's something caught in the window frame. Looks like gold fur. What a pretty color! It must be from some kind of animal. Wonder what it's doing here. Did Alderman QB have a pet fox? Golden fur added to the court record. Some fur that was found at the scene of the crime. It's long and soft and appears to be from some sort of animal. Okay, that's good. I think that's everything now. I guess that about wraps it up. Now if only we could get that detective to tell us what he knows. Hey, Apollo, do you hear something? I don't hear anything. Oh, right. Your hearing must not be as sensitive as mine. What are you talking about? A whooshing sound, like wind whooshing through a narrow strait. And the echo of someone's voice in justice we trust! Ha ha ha! Someone's got a sharp set of ears. That was the sound of my righteous voice reverberating through an air duct. I heard it through the air ducts? Yeah, check it out. But why would she hear you through there? Why don't we go to the diagram? As you can see, that vent is connected to an air duct that leads out into the hallway. The wind must have rushed through there and carried my monologue with it straight to your ears. And what a unique monologue it was. I was just thinking, maybe the killer made their escape through the air duct or something. A cute theory, but I don't think so. The air duct in the hallway is low enough to climb into, that much is true. But as you can see, the vent in the ceiling is very high. 9 feet high, in fact. I highly doubt that there's any way to get up there without a ladder or something. And I don't see anything of the sort in this room. Do you? I guess you're right. Speaking of things in this room... Yeah? Can you tell us what you guys turned up, Detective Fulbright? Not on my watch, buddy. In the name of justice, I cannot reveal facts pertaining to the prosecution's case. Oh, come on. Throw us a bone here. Excuse me, Detective Fulbright? But I recall you saying earlier that you would come running whenever we were in need. Yeah, I suppose I did say that. Helping those in need is what justice is all about. But keeping information out of enemy hands is also a form of justice. Which justice is the most just? Why is this always so hard? Well, how about this? Let's do a little give and take. I mean, serving the public is part of justice too, right? You know, like the police motto. To serve and protect. I doubt leaking information to the defense team falls under that motto. Yes, of course! I must serve as well as protect. Okay, I will share some information. In the name of justice. We did it, Apollo. Yeah, we did it all right. But I'm not sure that was entirely ethical. Let's talk to him. Details of the case. Was it Miss Jinxie Tenma who first discovered the crime scene? That's right, and this photo shows what she saw when she opened the door. Miss Tenma had a key, allowing her immediate access. A key? So then the Fox chamber was locked? Yes, and Miss Tenma had the only key to its door. Really? So Alderman Kyubi didn't have a key to the Fox chamber? Actually, he had a master key for most of the doors in the manor, but it disappeared after his murder. Disappeared? You think the killer took it? It could very well be connected to the murder. We're looking into the possibility now. But it's the timing of Miss Tenma's discovery that I think is most important. Of course, I'm not going to share that information with you. You think you're some kind of champion of justice, but you're just plain old mean. I won't fall for that, you shameless rascal. I only help good little boys and girls. Shameless rascal? Who even says that? Well, I wouldn't exactly call you a good little girl either. Crime photo added to the court record. Nice, okay. Feathers and tracks. These feathers and tracks look like something a yokai might leave behind. You don't actually think the murderer was some sort of monster, do you? What's the name of that creature in the Forbidden Chamber? Tenma something? Because from the black feathers and big tracks, it looks like that creature did it. Our prime suspect would, no doubt, love to pin the blame on some imaginary creature. Can Tenma, whatchamacallit, even be made a victim of slander? I doubt the mayor would do something as childish as blaming a boogeyman. So the most likely scenario so far is the Tenma guy left the feathers and tracks behind to make it look like the yokai Tenma was the killer? Wait, what? No, I'm as confused as you! At any rate, I doubt Mayor Tenma would plant evidence like that. Talk about suspects. So, Mayor Tenma is your only suspect? That's right! Even his name, Damien Tenma, makes him sound like a villain. And he's really scary looking too. Wait, are you telling me that's why he was arrested? Don't be ridiculous. He was the only one without an alibi. Oh, was that so? Yup. Other than the victim, the suspect, and Miss Tenma. The only others around were Mr. Filch and Mayor Tenma's aide, and the two of them were together at the time.
Filch, the guy who tried to steal my bracelet. Just living up to his name, I guess. We should go talk to him again when we have a chance. What about Jinxie? She's not being suspected at all?
She may have no alibi whatsoever, but she also has no motive. It's unfathomable that she would murder the alderman and pin the crime on her father. Besides, do you really think a little girl could lift up that huge spear?
True enough, that spear looks even bigger than her.
That's about all I can reveal at this time. Well, you must admit, Damien Tenma appears to be the most likely suspect.
I admit it looks bad, but I'm still not buying it.
Oh, and one more thing. I must warn you about the prosecutor.
Prosecutor assigned to Mayor Tenma's trial?
That's the one. He's, how shall I put it? Not what you'd expect. That is, unless you faced a convicted killer serving hard time as a prosecutor before. What the? Is this some kind of joke?
The prosecution. Can I ask why a man imprisoned for murder is serving as prosecutor?
Because he's mastered the use of psychology in courtroom battles. Everyone's talking about how this murder was the work of some strange creature. But yokai are nothing more than a figment of the imagination. They're baloney. Who better to prove this than a master of psychology? He's the best man for the job. But he's a convicted murderer. No matter how you look at it, that's just insane. Well, the chief prosecutor personally assigned him. So, none of us are in a position to question the matter.
This really is the dark age of the law. This prosecutor, he wouldn't happen to go by the name Blackquill, would he?
Bingo! Simon Blackquill. So you have heard of him.
You could say that. What's that supposed to mean?
Well, I bet you don't know his unofficial title. Ever heard of the Twisted Samurai? That's Prosecutor Blackquill.
The Twisted Samurai? Is that because he's a criminal?
Well, yes and no. You could also say it has to do with the effect his crime had on things.
How so?
His conviction is what twisted and warped the legal world into this dark age of the law.
What? And he, of all people, is going to stand in court tomorrow?
Never fear. I myself will be there to protect you.
That's reassuring, I guess.
Well, you kids knock yourselves out. Can't wait to see how you do tomorrow.
Wait, Detective Fulbright? I've been meaning to ask you something. Why are you barefoot? This doesn't look like the sort of place where you need to take your shoes off.
I hadn't even noticed. Why am I barefoot?
You honestly hadn't noticed until just now? Wait a second. Those shoes we found earlier. Excuse me, Detective Fulbright? These wouldn't happen to be your shoes, would they?
Yes, they are. My favorite pair, in fact. Thank you for bringing them to me. You must truly be on the side of justice.
Don't tell me Mr. Filch actually stole from a detective. Stealing shoes right off of someone's feet? That's pretty amazing.
I found it more amazing that Detective Fulbright didn't even notice.
Well, looks like we've gotten all we can out of the detective, so let's see. Maybe we should go have a word with Mr. Filch? I want to hear what his alibi is.
Okay. This is just awful. Terrible, I say. Somebody help!
Oh, look, it's Mr. What was it again? Filch?
No, the name's Filch. Phineas Filch.
Keep on pilfering and you may wind up a jailbird instead.
So what seems to be the problem, Mr. Filch? Oh, it's just terrible. Come quick.
Okay. What's the deal with him all of a sudden? Looks like some kind of mask.
It's the Amazing Ninetales' mask.
The Amazing Ninetales? Oh, right, the wrestler who appeared during the festival's special event. What's his mask doing here?
He'd never take off his mask like this. Someone must have killed him.
What? Who would have done such a thing? Let's go talk over there in private. Look. There's some white hair caught up inside this mask.
Amazing Ninetales mask added to the court record. There's some white hair in it, huh?
So what makes you believe that the Amazing Ninetales has been murdered?
You really want to know, eh? You're a studious one, ain't you?
Yes, just tell me, please.
Well, it's like this. I dreamed of becoming a wrestler myself. How about you join me in the quest for the champion's belt? What a team! Me and my bandit's mask, and you in that demon mask of yours.
Demon mask? Wonder if I could make it big.
Apollo, let's save your pro wrestling debut until after the trial.
Huh? Oh, no, I wasn't actually... why did I let him pull me off topic like that? Come on, Apollo! Ask him about the Amazing Ninetales' murder already!
The Amazing Ninetales.
The Amazing Ninetales is our village's savior, and don't you forget it. His trademark's a gold cape, made to look like 9 foxtails. He whirls through the ring, smacking down Tenma Town wrestlers left and right. He sparked the monster craze, revitalizing Ninetales Vale in the blink of an eye. Yep, saved our village from becoming a ghost town. Now it's a yokai town. Huh. The Amazing Ninetales really does sound, well, amazing.
Yeah, pretty amazing, huh? That's why he's worshipped like a hero around here. I'm proud to be from the same village as him.
Come to think of it, you look kind of monster-like yourself, Mr. Filch. Guess it makes sense since you're from the same village as the Amazing Ninetales.
Yeah, I know. A lot of people have told me I look like a yokai.
When was that a compliment?
Ouch! What's the big idea? Check your pocket. Hey, how'd you do that? Keep it, I got lots more. The Amazing Ninetales Glossy added to the court record. Okay.
So you keep saying that the Amazing Ninetales was killed. What's the story behind that? Are you saying he was murdered because his mask washed up along the river outside?
That's only part of it. The main reason is no one's seen him since the special event. The word round Ninetales Vale is he was killed by Tenma Taro.
You villagers are really superstitious, aren't you?
That we are. We love conspiracy theories too. Like the mayor's diabolical plot.
The mayor of Tenma Town? What is he plotting?
Rumor has it, he's planning on releasing Tenma Taro. That's why he wants the merger. He'll open the Forbidden Chamber once he's in control.
That's quite a tale.
Ain't finished yet. There was only one person who could stop the mayor. Our hero, the Amazing Ninetales. He vowed to battle the mayor of Tenma Town and stop the municipal merger.
I couldn't make this stuff up if I tried. Paulo, you still have to ask him about the alderman's murder, remember?
Yeah, let's talk about that too.
Mr. Filch, would you mind telling us what you were doing at the time of the murder?
I was in the caretaker's office, guarding the entrance like Mr. Cupid said I should. And I made double sure no one came in. I have a clear view of the foyer from where I work.
You must be talking about this small room in the upper right. It definitely looks like you can keep track of the comings and goings from there.
So, yeah, is that a window and then there's like a TV there?
And you have an alibi to back your statement up, Mr. Filch?
I do indeed. I was with Mayor Tenma's aide. Florent LaBelle's his name.
So the two of you were together.
That's a pretty sound alibi, all right.
And nobody came in or out of the manor around the time of the murder?
Keep watch here the whole time. Didn't see a soul pass by. And if anyone did, their security camera would have spotted them.
So no one's come in or out around the time of the murder. That means we're dealing with someone who was already inside when it happened. So do you think this mask is the real deal?
Without a doubt, this here's the mask worn by the Amazing Ninetales.
What about that white hair I found inside the mask? Wait, I just thought of something. Remember the golden animal fur we found at the crime scene? Could it have come from this mask? Look, there's even a spot where some fur is missing.
This place is the mask at the crime scene. At some point in time. Which means... What does this mean? Someone with white hair who is linked with the murder and is against the merger. No way. Could the amazing Ninetales and the Alderman actually be... Something wrong, Apollo? You should see the look on your face. Oh, no, it's nothing. Maybe Jinxie could tell us something, since she works here. Golden fur reattached to the amazing Ninetales mask, okay? And we can't say anything else to Felch. So, let's go. Is she gonna be in the garden? No. We don't need to talk to Athena. Let's go to Yokai? Yeah. April 17th, Ninetales Vale, Yokai Lane. Oh look, there's Jinxie. Milk, cheese, yogurt, ice cream, and... Sounds like she's out grocery shopping. She must really like dairy products. A charm to make a better milkshake, and another to cure my lactose intolerance. Maybe she should just stick to soy milk. Jinxie, hey, it's me. Yeah, it's the demon lawyer. Ah! Not another warding charm. Apollo? Who is she? Oh, right, this is your first time meeting each other. This is Jinxie, Mayor Tenma's daughter. She was the first to discover the crime scene. Oh, so she's the one who... hello, my name's Athena Sykes. I'll be helping Apollo defend your father at this trial. Pleased to meet you. Pleased to meet you too. Where's Trucy? Oh, she went back to the office ahead of us. But don't worry, Athena and I are on the case. Oh, wait, how do I know you didn't... That you didn't gobble her up alive? Relax, I didn't eat her up. And I wouldn't do such a thing in the first place. Oh, poor little Trucy. Oh, I'm about ready for some tears of frustration myself. She's quite, interesting character, huh, Apollo? Yep. Let's see. Jinxie, do you remember any more of what happened? Not much. At least not yet. But do you think Tenmataro was the killer, right? That yokai we saw at the festival? I don't know anything about that. Huh? But you said Tenmataro murdered the alderman. It's okay, Jinxie. You can tell me. Ah! What was that for? People see things when they don't get enough sleep. There's no such thing as monsters. Huh? What's gotten into her? So if there are no monsters, you admit I'm human? No, you're still a demon. Oh, I give up. It seems like Jinxie doesn't want to talk about Tenmataro for some reason. But that's precisely what we need to know more about. Besides, she definitely thought there was a yokai there in the Fox Chamber. Jinxie, about this charm... that's... You gave me this when I was heading off to the scene of the crime. You thought Tenmataro was the murderer. That's why you gave this to me, right? That's true, but... If there's anything else you could tell us, it would really help. And it will help your father, too. Alright then. Tenmataro did it? Why do you think Tenmataro's the killer? Saw him with my own eyes. Tenmataro was right there in the manor. He escaped his prison and ran right by me. What? Jinxie, tell us everything you saw. I called the police after I stumbled on the scene. I was just about to head back to the festival grounds when I saw Tenmataro. He was right around here. He was running right at me. I was paralyzed with fear, but there was no one around to help me. The foul beast raced right by me toward the foyer. Toward the foyer? Mr. Felch and Mr. LaBelle were supposedly in the foyer at the time. That means they would have seen Tenmataro too. Sounds like we better get their statements. Considering Jinxie's mental state, her eyes could have been playing tricks on her. Apollo, remember the picture in this paper? Someone caught Tenmataro flying through the air. I wonder if it's the same Tenmataro Jinxie says she saw. Don't be ridiculous. Tenmataro is the killer, and he can fly too. What about the Amazing Ninetales? Jinxie works at the Alderman's Manor, so maybe she can shed some light on this. So, no one knows the Amazing Ninetales' true identity? Uh-huh. They say no one's ever seen him without his mask. Doesn't that make you want to know even more? Uh-huh. That's why matches where wrestlers try to expose their opponent are so popular. Wait, you mean expose as in strip them naked? Ew, you even think like a demon! The only thing the winner removes is the loser's mask. To have your mask torn off is the worst humiliation a wrestler could suffer. That's why their masks are more important to them than life itself. So you see, these unmasking matches are life and death battles for the wrestlers. That means this mask didn't just happen to wash up along the riverbank. There's got to be a story behind it. No one can stop the Amazing Ninetales! Bet she'd be shocked to find out he's really the Alderman. The Tenmataro you saw. About the yokai you saw at the scene of the crime, anything else stand out? Actually, I heard this strange jangly sound. A jangly sound? Can you be a little more specific? My memory's kind of fuzzy, but I vaguely recall seeing Tenmataro holding a staff or something like that. Maybe that's what was making the strange sound. Does Tenmataro usually carry a staff? Good question. I've never heard anything like that, and it's not shown on the scroll. How about in other documents? Any of them show Tenmataro with a staff? This is the only known document depicting Tenmataro. After all, those who needlessly depict the demon are forever cursed. Then what's the deal with the Tenmataro you saw, Jinxie? Yokai Legend Scroll updated. Okay, that's interesting. Huh. Jinxie's statement has been added to the court record. Got it. Okay. Why didn't you tell me you saw Tenmataro earlier? Actually, Mr. LaBelle told me not to tell. Mr. LaBelle? Papa's aide. Oh, right. The other guy who was supposedly in the foyer at the time of the crime. And what exactly did he tell you? Keep the village superstitions in mind before you go talking about seeing Tenmataro at the time of the crime. Village superstitions. They say you must not gaze upon Tenmataro, but in the event that you do look, and then tell anyone what you saw, Tenmataro will claim your soul. And that's something everyone here knows? Sounds like a bunch of baloney to me. Uh-huh. Everyone from babies to the village elders know about it. But I didn't, because I'm not from around here. Hey, come to think of it. Huh? Why is everyone hiding their faces? Oh yeah, they didn't look at Tenmataro in the flashback, yeah. He's gonna steal your soul and all that. The guy at the special event thing said almost the exact same thing. Apollo, do you think this LaBelle guy actually believes in Tenmataro? I seriously doubt it. He's not even from Ninetales Vale. Then why would he try to keep Jinxie from talking? Good question. I think we better go have a word with him. Time to unmask this monster of a mystery. The last time I saw Mr. LaBelle, he was relaxing in the foyer. Bueno! Next time, stop the Manor foyer. With any luck, he'll be there waiting for us. Oh, automatically moving there. April 17th, KUB Manor. Foyer. There's no one here. Guess our luck isn't so good when it comes to Mr. LaBelle. Maybe he's out for a walk or something. Somebody left something out on the sill of the caretaker's office window. Oh, it's a TV program guide. Tenmatown Pro Wrestling Howlin' Wolf versus Pretty Boy Vampire. Looks like someone circled a pro wrestling match. Hey, what do you think you're doing? It's a... Oh, Mr. Filch, what can we do for you? I bet she was gonna scream monster, which really isn't much of a stretch. There ain't nothing I need you to do for me, but what business do you got with my TV listings? Oh no, it just caught my eye. Can I ask if you watched this pro wrestling program today? Yup, was a match between a couple of rank amateurs though. It was a complete disaster. I reckon even I could have done better than that. I seriously doubt that. Coach's TV program guide. Okay. Almost forgot. There's something I wanted to ask him. Mr. Filch, did you see anything unusual around the time of the murder? For example, Tenmataro? Or something like that? Huh? Tenmataro? So you did see him. My, how clean and shiny your forehead is again today, Mr. Lawyer, sir. I bet you shine it up every day, real pretty like. The ladies must love it. Don't change the subject. And FYI, that was a seriously bad attempt at flattery. Jinxie said she saw Tenmataro flee toward the foyer, so you must have seen him too if you were here. Yipes! Wow, I really pushed a button there. Well, did you see anything or not? That is quite enough. I must ask that you not pester my friend anymore. Yipes! Forgive me for being pestered, sir. And you are? I am Florent Lebel, Badavin and personal aide to Mayor Damien Tenma. Badavin, more like yokai grotesque. This place is crawling with monsters. Oh, excuse you. Ah! What the heck was that for? It was just a little cologne. You had a look of stinky sweat about you. It's from my own original brand of cosmetics called Je suis Lebel. Ah, what a heavenly scent. I think you just paralyzed my olfactory receptors. I suppose such a scent would be difficult for a peasant to appreciate. I'll have you know, that is brand number 5. Bonjour. It's my way of introducing myself. Enjoy. Where's my bottle of adieu so I can return the favor? Enough about the cologne. Please tell us what you saw around the time of the murder. Let's see. Keeping Jinxie quiet. I heard you're the one who told Jinxie not to mention that she saw Tenmataro. Why, that little... So she told you she saw the demon, did she? Mr. Lebel, do you mind if I ask whether you believe in the village superstitions? Oh, please. I was merely trying to keep with traditions. Nevertheless, I will say this. I wouldn't stick my nose into this whole Tenmataro business if I were you. Bad things happen to those who do. That much is true. He is one scary monster. That's crazy. You really expect me to believe that monsters are real? Well, you're real, and you sure look like a monster. Look who's talking. So, Mr. Lebel, you didn't see Tenmataro? Ah! Little Jinxie has an active imagination. Isn't that right, Phineas? That's right, I didn't see nothing, especially not Tenmataro. As for me, I only see things of beauty. That's why I can barely see you. I've got 2 words for this guy. Total freak. Talk about your alibi. Could I ask you what you were doing at the time of the crime? In other words, you'd like to hear my alibi. To think you did suspect me, of all people. Oh no, just a formality. We ask everyone— Ah! How dare you doubt me? That's an affront to beauty itself. You obviously can't see straight. Oh, like that spritz really helped. What were we doing, you ask? Go ahead, Filchy, answer the question. At the time of the crime, we were, in this here foyer. Exactly. Good answer, Filchy, good answer. Just repeating what you thought. You've said quite enough. What is with these two? Great, now he's got me talking like that. Are we quite through here? I'm a very busy man, you know. Right, well, thanks for your help. So these two were in the foyer, but didn't see Tenmataro. Come along, Filchy. Where are we going? Oh, right, gotta practice them statements with tomorrow. Yipes! My eyes! You're going to dig your own grave with that big mouth of yours someday. What does he mean, practice statements? Now, if you would excuse me, it's time to touch up my makeup. Apollo, I know this sounds strange, but Mr. LaBelle seems unusually preoccupied with Tenmataro. Really? How can you tell? Well, it's kind of hard to explain. You see, I can read people's emotions from the tone of their voice. You mean you have good ears? Something like that. People's emotions are expressed in their tone of voice. And my ears can pick up on even the subtlest of tones for some reason. That's an interesting skill. But what do you mean he's preoccupied with Tenmataro? I'm not exactly sure, but it was like he was obsessed with the thought of Tenmataro. That's what I picked up from his voice anyway. Everywhere we turn, it's Tenmataro this, Tenmataro that. Huh. We should go talk to the mayor, too. Sounds like a plan. We need to get to the bottom of that rumor about him wanting to release Tenmataro. April 17th, Detention Center, Visitors Room. Something wrong, Apollo? Where did your enthusiasm go? What am I doing asking the mayor if he has ever thought about releasing Tenmataro? At best, he'll think I'm an idiot. At worst, ugh. Oh, he's here! It's so nice to finally meet you. I'm Mr. Justice's partner, Athena Sykes. I'm looking forward to working with you, Mr. Tenmataro. Oh, yes. I look forward to working with you, too. Yeah. I didn't mind Athena calling him by a completely wrong name. Apollo, he's just as kind and gentle-looking as I'd imagined. Lucky for you after that blunder you just made. There was something I wanted to talk to you about. There are rumors going around about how you want to, or did, set Tenmataro free. What utter nonsense! Ah! You always assume the worst of me because of the way I look. But those rumors don't have a shred of truth, I tell you. A little touchy about his appearance, isn't he? What he really needs to work on are his people skills. Let's talk Tenmataro's revival. So rumor has it that you want to push the merger through in order to release Tenmataro. Of course, that's a bunch of baloney, isn't it? Sorry if I offended you. So that's the talk around town, is it? I can see how that would make you angry. What if Jinxie's schoolmates start teasing her about this? Huh? I must break out of here at once! Our tormentors must be taught a lesson! No, wait! First we have to get you a not guilty verdict. Don't try to stop me! This is about a daughter's duty to his darling daughter! Hold tight, sweet Jinxie! Daddy's coming to save you! Wait, relax! We'll look out for your daughter until we can get you free. Oh, is that so? You don't need me to go straighten things out myself? Ooh, boy. I'd probably call in the SWAT team if he showed up at her school. Oh, right. I asked about the reason behind the merger. It seems like you were rather forceful in pushing for the municipal merger. Did you really want Ninetales Vale that badly? Yes, well, it's quite an attractive prize in terms of tourism. Wait, am I feeling what I think I'm feeling? Sure, I played a bit of hardball, but only when I deemed it necessary. I knew it! My bracelet's reacting. What is it, Apollo? Mayor Tenman may not be telling us the whole truth. Really? How can you tell? People invariably tense up when they lie. That's where my bracelet here comes in. I can sense when the person I'm talking to is feeling tense, because it begins to feel tight on my arm. No way! You can do that? Wait, so you believe me? Just like that? Sure, each of us has our own special gifts. Oh yeah, Athena has a gift too. Her special sense of hearing. Still, what do you think the mayor is lying about? Of course, Phoenix has a magic stone that tells him when people are lying. I don't know, but it's our job to find out. It's been a while since my bracelet last reacted like this. Let's see if I still remember how to do this. First I touch my bracelet. Right, let's give it a whirl. Here we go. Yes, I remember this feeling of intense concentration. ability to see the smallest twitch, the slightest frown that no one else can see. Now, Mayor Tenma was lying somewhere in that statement he just made. And when he lied, a certain habit made itself clear, just under his right eye. I just have to shift my viewpoint up and focus on that area. There it is. Right, there it is. Alright, I've got him now. His nervous tell should appear when he's trying to pull the wool over my eyes. I've got to pore over every word he says and wait for it to appear. Pore, P-O-R-E, over every word? And when it does, I'll perceive it. As well, it's... Is it in terms of tourism? Yes. So, not... Mr. Mayor, please. You can trust us with the truth. Truth? I don't understand. When you mentioned tourism, the bottom of your right eye started twitching. What nonsense is this? So what if it did? Please, tell us more about your merger bid. What more is there to tell? Why were you really seeking to merge with Ninetails Vale? I already told you. Tourism. The monster craze really revitalized the village, making it quite the prize. You really don't trust us, do you? What are you talking about? The village has been hot property ever since the monster craze started, has it not? I think you're yet to realize that what you're saying contradicts the facts. You say that the monster craze really revitalized Ninetails Vale, so you felt it would be an attractive prize for its tourism, but that would contradict this. The Amazing Ninetails, this one? Because it was the monster craze in Ninetails Vale is a very recent phenomenon. It was sparked when the Amazing Ninetails rose up against the municipal merger. The village was practically a ghost town before that. Ugh. So you see, you couldn't have possibly seen it as an attractive prize for its tourism. What's the real reason behind your push to merge Tenma Town with Ninetails Vale, huh? Why the merger? Are you ready to tell me the truth now? Honestly, I never wanted to pursue the merger in the first place. But I had no choice if I wanted to protect my darling little Jinxie. Protect her from what? I received a threat. It said either I go through with the merger, or my Jinxie dies. What? How awful! Who would do such a thing? I don't know. But whoever blackmailed me must be connected to the murder. Wait, so you think the blackmailer and the killer could be one and the same? Alderman QB was immensely popular, so you have to ask, who would want him dead? The blackmailer who wanted the merger at all costs had the motive in the world. All the motive in the world. But why go from blackmail to murder? The merger protests won't disappear just because the alderman was killed. Could it be? What if there was another reason for the murder? Like what? Well, maybe the blackmailer discovered Alderman QB's secret identity, and his secret identity was a threat to the blackmail's merger scheme. What do secret identities have to do with anything, Apollo? I have evidence revealing the alderman's secret identity. Maybe it's time to use it. Do we present the mask? Mayor Tenma, please take a look at this, if you would. That's the Amazing Ninetails' mask. What is the meaning of this? This mask was almost definitely at the crime scene, and there was some white hair inside. White hair? You say? There was but one person with white hair in the manor that day. What are you saying? You know which man I'm talking about, right? I'm talking about Rex Cubey, the Amazing Ninetails himself. No way! The Alderman was impossible! Wait, come to think of it, Alderman QB was a former pro wrestler. So the blackmailer turned killer when he discovered the Alderman's secret identity. Didn't I just say that? But yeah, the Amazing Ninetails was a threat to the blackmailer's scheme. He opposed the merger, and as a result,
single-handedly sparked the monster craze. Even so, what was the mask doing at the crime scene? There had to have been an event at the manor. And maybe Alderman Cubey had taken part in it, if you get my drift.
This is absurd.
Mr. Mayor, do you have proof of the threat that was made against you?
Yes, a blackmail letter. Unfortunately, it disappeared after the murder. I've been carrying it around in my briefcase, but now it's suddenly vanished.
The blackmailer must have taken it with them after they killed the alderman. Well, at least we've clearly established the killer's motive.
Mayor Tenma, visiting hours are over. It would appear this meeting is adjourned.
Apollo, do you really think that Tenma Taro that Jinxie saw is the killer?
I don't know.
All I know is there's no such thing as monsters. What about that newspaper article? Could the killer have purposely freed Tenma Taro to do their dirty work? Oh, come on, there wasn't any Tenma Taro to release in the first place. Yes, but the only suspects the police have right now are the mayor and a yokai. Well, we'll probably be arguing whether there was a yokai involved in court tomorrow. I can already see that look of disbelief on the judge's face. Apollo, are you alright? I'm fine. I'll think of something. I better, because I can't very well say a flying demon was the killer. At this point, the only thing I know for sure is tomorrow is going to be one doozy of a trial. Alright, and I think... There we go, to be continued. And that is a good stopping point for tonight. So next time, we're going to start Trial 1. We'll see you then.